Hello there, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining us with Gareth Roy for Stay Free with Russell Brand, a show where we freely discuss truth with integrity and authenticity, where we bring you guests who will shed light and spread truth at a time where telling the truth becomes an act of, what's that thing? In times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. Is that what we're saying?
There you go. You've got
We're saying something like that. So we're talking about the lab leaks with our special guest, Alison Young. She's going to be on in a moment. Guess who's back? COVID's making a comeback. COVID's back. Tell your friends. COVID's back. Boost your friends, because there is a new booster and all. Plus, in Here's the News, we're going to be looking at the Moderna government revolving door. 1 minute you're working for the government recommending Moderna. Next minute you're at Moderna selling Moderna products. What a crazy topsy-turvy, but don't say corrupt world it is. But who do you like better? Is it our sweet Lord God, or is it Donald Trump? Is it the unending Lord, or is it Donald Trump? A lot of people, it's Donald Trump. That's why we asked you in a poll, who do you like better, Joe Biden or God? And let's see, we've not seen those results. There are 33,000 votes, and most people do like God a bit better than they like Joe Biden. Well, there you go. So between Trump and God, we've got something resembling a solution.
Biden's got the atheist vote.
Yes, he has, hasn't he? Those atheists. Oh, of course. But even if I were an atheist,
you'd still think you'd go for God.
Prefer a God that I just absolutely do not believe in, rather than a president that is surely impossible to believe in at this point. One of the things about rational materialism is it comes to an abrupt end, certainly when it comes to the Big Bang Theory, what precedes it, what happened on the Tuesday before the Big Bang, why is that that inflationary period where the expansion of the universe abruptly altered, and why are CNN so bloody selfish? Look at this lovely bit of mainstream news where CNN start to panic about the possibility of a Donald Trump presidency by looking at polling numbers. You'll enjoy this. Check out the mainstream, baby.
And we've had 3 polls that have come out over the last week here. And I want you to take a look at how close this race is at this particular point. Granted, the general election is over a year away. The largest lead for Joe Biden is just 3 points within the margin of error. No clear leader.
Funny, isn't it? No clear leader sums up Joe Biden, isn't it? Doesn't it? And like undermining it with his green finger
green
bob.
line. He's not very useful, really.
This is children's news. You could just look at that. You could look at that poll and just have some music on.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't help. You could listen to Shady's Back. You could watch a little smoking Vietnamese baby while that's going on. Not on YouTube. Because a smoking baby would contravene the World Health Guide. And also, actually, radical anti-authoritarian though I am not endorsing little smoking Vietnamese babies, other than he is adorable.
You do like him, though.
I love him. We'll have a look at him over once we're, because if you're watching us on YouTube, right, we speak freely here. We do our best. If you're one of our 6.5 million awakening wonders, we could not be more proud of you, you glorious pilgrims, you devoted wanderers in search of truth. That's why we recommend you get here fast. You join us on our mission in person. This isn't a media organization. This is a movement. Come one, come all.
No.
Flood us with your. Let us start commute. Yeah,
we haven't got much room here.
There's plenty of room, but it's like an arc. Get on board. It's
very awkward to get here as well.
Get on the love train.
Wouldn't recommend it.
Come easily, regular buses. Listen, it's easy to get here. Come here, join us, join the movement. Have you had enough of the mainstream? Tell us in the chat. If you watch us on Rumble, remember to subscribe on Rumble as well, and watch us on Locals. You can join in with all our little pals like Thomas Beard and art by Wendy Klein. Look, they're all coming. They're on their way now. It's like yeah, they're coming here. They're all on their way.
Don't get under our feet.
Don't get under our feet now. You're going to graft for a living. Look at it. So, look, let's go back to the mainstream. At least we provide a bit of colour when we do the news. A few jokes.
So do they. Green line.
Green line. That's colour.
What do you want?
No, you're right. Fair enough. No, they've beat us there because I haven't done no lines, have I? I've got the sign, though. I've always got that. That's our colour. Let's see where he goes, this nut job.
Look at these. 1 point. 1 point. If you go back at where we were at this point 4 years ago, Joe Biden's lead was high single digits to low double digits.
Out of that phrase, really low single digits to high single digits.
You guys like really New York with that as well?
That's like what, 8 to 12? 8 is a high single digit, 12 is a low double digit.
Yeah.
Like when Leon down my road goes, when I was 10, double digits for the rest of your life now. And unless I reach 100, he's right. Sadly, Leon did drown when he was in his teens. Well,
what's the moral of this story?
Learn to swim.
This is significantly closer than where we were 4 years ago.
don't swim drunk or on drugs.
Right.
Those are several
which
more.
channel?
He's a good lad, Leon. God rest his
Turned out he
soul.
wasn't as wise as he came
He's
across.
only little,
No, he
mate.
went
He was
for
only
his
about
Yeah,
18
like
when
he was a new
drowned
private or
drunk.
something.
Sorry about that. He was a good lad down my road. I liked him. He was a good lad. Never mind. We go on, don't we? Maybe this
Just
fella was
statistics
drawing
now.
So this idea that Donald Trump can't win the general election, I want you to lose that idea. This race.
Him telling me what to do about losing
Lose
my
it.
ideas. Like the mainstream media, selfish. Like this guy, like we're watching today because he's funny, but then Morning Joe's interpretation of events is literally like people trying to cling on to their jobs while doing their job. It's crazy.
This is very, very close, and Donald Trump is polling better right.
The time he's
AD
saying
News.
all of this is the numbers 47 and 46 are similar to
Yeah.
each other. We know the sequence
I know.
of numbers, don't we?
Also, losing ideas.
Lose
That's a
that
strange
idea.
concept, I
How you
think.
gonna lose an idea?
It's
You
like saying,
can't.
forget about it or something.
Forget about it, baby. Look at him. He's just peculiar little Lego man.
now than basically at any point during the entire 2020
After
cycle.
4 indictments.
After 4 indictments, it just doesn't really
Matter.
seem to matter.
That's fascinating.
Harry Anton.
He says-
Fascinating.
that it doesn't seem to matter. She says it's fascinating, and yet somehow they muddle along.
They could have literally gone, the whole item, it's closer than you think, you know?
Yeah,
That's
closely
it.
fix some numbers over there, mate. If you want to look, fascinating. Doesn't really matter though. I mean, like, what an extraordinary couple of extremists. Morning Joe have made it even more insular. Remember, over the course of this show, we're going to be talking to Alison Young about the lab leak theory. We're going to be showing you in a minute Joe Biden arriving in Maui, and whoa, I ain't seen crowds that excited since young Elvis Presley come on the scene. Joe Biden, Joe the pelvis, although that pelvis is crumbling like chalk even now. Over on
You sure it wasn't one of his aliases?
it's old JRB. Yes, sir. Let's have a look at Morning Joe advocating for their own continued employment, even though I've been on that show and I don't think they should even have jobs. Now they're all right. Let's have a look at them.
Make no mistake about it, and this is why I get so enraged with not the far right fringe, but the Republican, the establishment Republicans. Do you not understand that if Donald Trump wins, nothing else matters because it's over? Morning Joe might act, just to take a little example, Morning Joe might not exist anymore because
You got my vote. I've never felt more inclined to register myself as an American citizen. Like, get them off. That's a really odd analysis.
Really mad. That's the first, that's the priority, is it? Morning Joe?
It's not very good, Morning
It doesn't
Joe.
often feature Joe. I'm amazed
He
he's on
turns
it
up
this
once in a
time.
while. He's made himself outrageously blonde, like he's seen the Barbie movie and kenned himself into oblivion, bleached himself senseless, daft sod. Morning Joe's not very important. Also, who is more authoritarian and censorial than the current Democrat regimen? Like, they're the ones that are looking to ban free speech the whole bloody time, if you ask me. Do you not? Am I wrong about this? Have I gone crazy? Let's see what other outrageous claims they make.
Donald Trump has said, as all autocrats say, what they will do. And he said, if I'm elected, I want the FCC
Stop back
reporting
there. We'll be up
directly
for a
into me.
minute.
And he will cancel the show. I mean, you need to think that, excuse me, that
You shouldn't be on the telly. You're coughing too much. Can you imagine? Even a seasoned broadcaster like me. Oh, God. I'm still. Hey, I think COVID's back. COVID's back. Tell your friends. Like, he don't deserve to be on the television. Firstly, your suit's too light for a start. People don't dress like that. What do you think you're in? Bugsy Malone?
extreme. It's over. Freedom is over if Donald Trump gets elected. It's that.
It's hysterical. Freedom's
Actual
over.
madness. The news, again.
Here is the news. Freedom is over. Remember, what's that thing about the chains that we did the other day? You never notice how chained you are. Hold on. If you don't move, you don't better pull the
There we go.
chain.
No, he's got
Here
it this
comes
time.
Sweet Lady Freedom.
He's got it.
Like, if you don't, those who do not move do not notice their chains.
Nice.
And who said that? It's that fella. No, it's Rosa Luxemburg.
Simple. No other issue matters. Every other issue sprinkles down from that. However you feel about the economy, however you feel about whatever issue.
He's wearing under the table. He's got
Socks on.
He's got no socks. His ankles and his
not
heel
even
are
got
nude as the day.
socks.
He's naked. He's naked from the ankle down there, and he's got jeans on. Who is this fella?
No, that shouldn't be allowed.
Donald Trump will end freedom. That's the kind of hysteria. Like, I wonder. I'd like to. Right, do you know what I'd like to do with that fella? I like a mate. What do you think about this thing where Donald Trump's
Martin.
going, Hunter Biden made millions from those deals, and Joe Biden goes, "That's not true." How do you deal with that? How do you deal with keeping the laptop story out of the news? What do you say about Russiagate? What about them, the DOJ hassling that judge, saying about the First Amendment rights of the man himself, Trump, there are being impeded?
You're right. When he says freedom will be over, what about the social media censorship?
What about it?
Massive social media censorship that's still continuing, that they're lobbying judges and courts to continue censoring on social media. And then you're saying freedom is over. It doesn't make sense.
What they mean by freedom is their set of preferences being backed by the state. Real freedom are the preferences and views of other people. I think some time ago they abandoned in their minds. There was the idea of blue-collar, working-class Americans. Once they were abandoned, this kind of sort of elitist insanity was unleashed to the point where you can have Morning Joe suggesting that Morning Joe is the sort of epicenter of the treasures of democracy. And if that were lost, it would be a problem rather than an enormous bonus to everyone.
You're dealing with. We turn into an autocracy. What our forefathers fought for 250 years ago is over. That's what's at stake at this election. Everything else is a subtext to that.
Oh, it's all subtext. It's not subtext. It could be secondary.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary piece of analysis. Hey, and there's a pun if you want one now. I'm assuming that's come from Jamie. He says, we'll be Morning Joe. And what he's done is he's put you in the word morning. Well done.
Not you.
Yep.
We'll be morning. We won't be Morning Joe. We don't care what happens to them. Hey, guess what? The presidential primary debate will be on Rumble tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST. You can watch them presidential. Are you going to watch them, the primaries? If you are going to watch them,
Definitely.
watching them on Rumble. Are you going to?
Yeah, on
Rumble.
On Rumble, yeah.
We'll be sat here, won't we?
Yeah, on Rumble.
Watching them on Rumble, won't we?
Yeah.
It'll be on it. Vivek, he'll be there.
Oh,
Ron
yeah.
DeSantis, all our friends on the show. Woo! I should be there, shouldn't I?
I wonder if they'll do a shout out to you, maybe.
They best mention me.
Right.
Like, in the old days, we would have gone, gives a mention in primaries. Like, I tell you who has been texting us, Dave Rubin.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going, are you coming? Are you coming? I go, I don't know, mate. We pay for us to all come. We'll go then. If it's a jolly, if there's a few quid in it, we'll be out there for them primaries. I think he's going.
Commitment from Brand there.
I ain't bothered about things like that. As you know, I don't think that those kind of systems are going to generate real meaningful change. But I'll tell you who I would go out there for. Bobby F. Kennedy.
Of course you would.
Or Cornel West.
Oh,
I like both of them.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
Yeah.
They're my favourites. I like Cornel West because I like how he talks and everything. And I like how passionate he is. I like how often he brings up jazz.
Yes, he does.
And RFK, obviously, because of the old pull-up competition, I'm a bit nervous about.
Well, you're going to have to go out there anyway. Got to do that thing at some point.
Sooner or later, I'm going to have to face facts. I've been asking Dave Goggins. You know, Dave Goggins, he's a sort of Navy SEAL and all-round I would say tough guy, for some advice on pull-ups and help on slaying my inner bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he helps with. Even though I love Cornel West and RFK, most people love Joe Biden. Some even like him more than God, 4% of you. And the people of Maui, they welcome him as if he were a conquering Caesar. Let's have a look at that footage now. We've had to beep out the expletives because we're still on YouTube. Have a look.
Wow, he's finally here. Wow, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for nothing. You.
I think that no comment moment where Joe Biden asked, have you got anything to say about the Maui fires? And he went, not really. I'm not bothered about things like that. I think that's actually burned them.
Backfired, doesn't it?
Backfired. It's hurt almost as much as the incendiary matters themselves. Let's have a look at this mainstream media reporting on the matter. Check it.
There's a lot of real estate speculation happening right now that is really frustrating. And I just want to remind all you real estate investors around the world, like Lahaina is not for sale. Please don't reach out to these families and take advantage of them during the most devastating time of
on the news. Don't do what? Don't reach out to them and offer these desperate people money for their land. Oh, don't do that. Okay. What are you doing now? I'm not doing that. Hello? Like, in a sense, you can't stop every crisis being exploited by establishment elites. In unrelated news, we'll be talking to Alison Young later about the lab leak theory and the ensuing crisis provoked potentially by that. I'm not saying that's definitely how that went down. I suppose it's odd that the assumption is that these fires will lead to opportunities for elites. That's not a conspiracy
It's not a
theory, is it?
conspiracy at all. I mean, there's a chronic housing shortage there already, where wealthy second home owners buying up the land. the locals at the moment are worried that that's going to continue happening amid this crisis. Of course, they're correct. It is going to happen. We've got billionaires like Oprah and Jeff Bezos buying up massive parts of land. You've got tax breaks for Zuckerberg buying agricultural land in Hawaii. I mean,
yeah, they get agricultural tax breaks when they're not actually starting farms. They take advantage of them. So, I mean, all of these things do gear you towards skeptical thinking.
Well, also, and the anger that we've just seen towards Joe Biden. When his response was so long, when he was talking about $700 versus the $900 that people have paid out to this war in Ukraine at the moment, the lack of funding and infrastructure that potentially caused these electrical faults, all of these things, also as well as the kind of land issues we just talked about. Of course, people are angry. They're furious about this situation.
My dog's done such a bad fart.
He has, hasn't he?
It's really affecting my ability to
I've
broadcast.
just got it now.
Normally, it's me that's done a thing like that, and I'll just sort of subtly indicate to you, sorry about that, girl, I haven't been well. But this one's Bear, and he's down there. He's pumping out.
What's his facial expression like?
He looks to me pretty satisfied.
Does he?
He looks like butter won't melt in his mouth. He looked like him shit don't stink. But the truth is, it do. He ain't no Paul Saladino. I tell you that. Our fantastic guest, Paul Saladino, dietary expert, who doesn't even bother to wipe his own body because he drops out little crystal egglets. Later on the show, we're talking to Alison Young, not about her private, no way. We'll be talking about COVID variants and lab leaks. I'm not going to talk to every guest.
No, not 2 days in a row.
That was
Space
a one-off.
it out at least
over time. Perhaps, you know, sort of like we're going to have a break soon, and then like when we're coming back, we've got Candy Sowens coming on. We've got Ben
Ask her about it. Ask him about it.
Eckhart Tolle.
Ask him about it mainly.
Oh well, Russell, of course I like to relax into a hot bath. I'm already doing a pool right now. Eckhart Tolle is quite relaxed. Pride Folks on the locals chat says my cat never farts, but I simply don't believe that. If you're watching us on Rumble, subscribe to their channel right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, I think it's time for us to go. I think it's time to leave and talk about the COVID comeback. Reports on the new variant, and would you believe it, by some incredible coincidence, the new boosters. What you're going to love, and remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to have to click on the link in the description, because the mainstream media are basically doing an advertisement. They don't present the information to us in a favorable way. Like, you know, it's not that bad, chill. It's like, there is a new variant, and luckily there's a booster. But to hear that, you've got to join us over on Rumble. If you're watching us on Rumble, remember, subscribe right now. Click the red button and join the conversation on locals while we look right now at Lester Holt. Lester Holt doing a sort of infomercial for COVID. That gorgeous beige egg of a man. Let's see how he kicks off this advert.
COVID is making a comeback this summer, so many of us would like to leave it in the past, but cases are
so many of us. Well, how's that adding anything to this? Many of us would like to leave it in the past.
All of us, surely.
Yeah,
who's going like, well, I actually quite like it.
Ah, baller.
Fair enough.
Albert Bourla, CEO of Pfizer. Maybe some of the people that used to work for the British government but now work for Moderna, they're benefiting from it. Centralist, authoritarian, globalist bodies that are able to regulate now in ways that they previously never could. Bill Gates, who's invested, some say, in those vaccines, as well as funding the WHO. One person who'll be thrilled to see it back is our little friend, Vietnamese smoking baby. I miss that little Vietnamese smoking baby so bad. He's going to have respiratory trouble, if anyone is. He's right in the myocarditis line of fire. He's chuffing on the fags like a nut job, but he's so gorgeous. How can we ever stay mad at this little smoking baby? We'll just have a look at him just to cheer ourselves up, really. Why don't you have a look as well?
The toddler goes crazy, screaming, slamming his head on the floor, even getting sick if he doesn't get his 2 packs a day.
He was lighting that one too early, in my view, because he still had a whole fag there, and he thought, I take the risk. I get the smoking too. Black kid.
Monroe, OH Monroe.
Down on his fags.
Still glorious pre-COVID times, eh?
A happier time when babies could freely smoke without intervention, interruption, or condemnation. Let's have a look at the mainstream media talking about this new variant, getting you all whooped up into a frenzy so that you can get boosted to within an inch of your life, depending on whether or not you're a male aged 18 to 35 and therefore in the myocarditis window. Let's have a look.
in the past, but cases are once again on the rise. So when will new booster shots roll out? Ann Thompson asked the CDC director.
Promo, look at the way the information. There's going to be COVID, so when will there be no more
okay,
booster shots?
so you're in there. I'll just have to reset your login. No big deal.
They love it as well. The news love it. COVID's back.
Second.
It's
Just
dream
wait for
news,
this
isn't it?
yeah.
For the mainstream. You know, COVID's back. We can start the fear mongering again.
The only thing that make him happier is if Trump was going around coughing in people's mouths, like perhaps with that Vietnamese smoking baby, coughing in mouth after mouth while people were laying in high-intensity units.
This summer, most Americans left COVID in the past.
Bye-bye, baby. See you later, COVID. I'm off for a holiday.
Gathering together once again, mask-free. But tonight, signs of a COVID resurgence.
What's behind this uptick in COVID that we're seeing?
The main driver of this is a variant that's relatively newer to the scene, EG5. It's easier to give and get, so that makes it kind of easier.
Easier to give and get. EG5. Catchy little names
Very
they've got.
catchy.
We have a conversation with Dr. John Campbell on Friday where we go into incredible depth into his pandemic journey, where we talk about some more of the controversial angles. We talk about do mRNA vaccines potentially alter your DNA, but also he's actually quite a conservative analyst of the pandemic period. He's very sort of open-minded, but it's interesting to hear a dedicated health professional make the journey from, broadly speaking, trusting authority to having total cynicism about the goals of centralized authoritative institutions, in particular because of the way Moderna have conducted themselves in Australia, our country, the UK, your country, America, Canada, everywhere, really.
Pass along.
It's been almost a year since the last COVID booster came out. CDC Director Dr. Mandy Cohen.
The new COVID booster is expected to be approved by the FDA, and
wow, where do you get these unique insights from, I wonder?
And we will make recommendations from the CDC probably by the 2nd or 3rd week of September.
Will it protect against this new strain?
Yes, the booster is tailored to what we are seeing circulating now. We likely will see this as an annual COVID shot.
No.
Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, booster shots. It's fun for everyone. They want it in the calendar. It's part of life. Sometimes you zoom back and look at the overarching narrative in which we're regarded as barely sentient blobs being continually injected with products of varying efficacy, kept sick by big food and big agriculture, treated by big pharma, sometimes ineffectively. It's all part of this smilingly anodyne vision of hell that we're being marched into.
You can imagine a kind of Black Friday, can't you, for boosters?
Oh, that's
because
fantastic.
we're at a point now where they're not free anymore. People are paying for them themselves, or they certainly will be soon. And you can just imagine sales 50% off only this week. New boosters.
What's your last four?
If that does happen, we should mark that to see if Gareth predicted it. Like, who would have thought that the Avengers would be advertising
Too much of it.
jabs? But we've already had that, and Sesame Street. I mean, everyone's getting involved. It's a real trend. They're like pogs.
It's like the flu shot.
Just in time for fall, when we'll also face RSV.
Can you take the flu shot, the COVID booster, and the RSV vaccine all at once?
Asking for a friend.
So for flu and COVID, yes. RSV, again, is only available for older adults. That's one where I'd say talk to your doctor about what's right.
Talk to the doctor now, can you? Like that poor fella, old Dr. Merrick, who was booted out of his job because he prescribed ivermectin, which you can now recommend, even though the FDA still do not recommend it.
Also, it's only certain medication for the elderly, but COVID boosters for everyone. You can be 6 months, 10 years, or 80.
Pregnant. There's something for everyone.
For you.
So until the new COVID booster comes, get prepared. Stock up on at-home tests. They do cover that news.
Put into the kind of language and mentality of consuming, stock up on tests and masks, as well as in a secondary but significant way, promoting fear and anxiety, commodifying continually your health. When are they going to say, get outside, exercise a lot, remember to eat well, don't eat dirty, processed, stinking food that's making you sick, stay fit and healthy, don't watch too much of our fear-mongering bullshit, it's not making you any better. It's
also, as we have been talking about in terms of the death rates of young people, that is nothing to do with COVID. That's COVID's a tiny
Which shift sounds good to you?
We can come to it right now. They were the young Americans. Young Americans are
No,
dying at alarming rates, reversing
I'm still
years
waiting
of
for them to give
progress.
me
I think there's been a
the
significant,
next
maybe even
starting
10%
date. So.
rise in Americans
But yeah,
dying
I'm
from what are
building people on
called
both sides.
diseases of despair, suicide, alcoholism, addiction, and significantly obesity. Well, let us know in the chat. Do you think that that's the real pandemic? Is the real pandemic this kind of spiritual decline, this lack of purpose, this loss of meaning? I tell you what, I
14
thought that
start,
if they could profit
but
from
there is a
these
$1
deaths
an
in the same way that
hour,
they profited from the pandemic, they would promote it differently.
Yeah, between 2019 and 2020, obviously key years. We talk about all the time. 8.3% rise in overall mortality ranges ages 1 to 19, and then that added another 10%.
Yeah, and all you gotta do is show up every day that you're scheduled
mortality
on
rates for
time.
ages 1 to 19 during that period.
And if you have a bad week,
As you've
which
kind of
because
already,
since they're doing it weekly, if you have a bad
why
week,
weren't we hearing about that
it
during that
resets
period?
the
We were
next
hearing constant reminders and constant updates of fluctuations in COVID rates. No one said, oh, by the way, 20% more young people are dying.
3-day
as a result
weekend
of
every
nothing
week.
to do with COVID.
So extraordinary that there's a news item there where they're almost walking you down the CVS aisle to get your bloody booster shot. But when it comes to this pandemic among the young, a pandemic of suicide, a pandemic of despair, it's obfuscated. You have to sort of pick it out of various news sources, piece it together. We saw a report on PBS where we're talking about that in some depth later this week, and to learn more about the pandemic and the potential corruption that was revealed during that
What
period.
you're going to do is
You
you're going
don't
to click
want to miss
on.
our fantastic conversation with Dr. John Campbell. We
value
value freedom of
click on
speech.
employee
We
login.
value
It's
free
going to
speech.
take you to an
We
application
oppose
anyway,
our
but
own
since
views.
you're already
And
in the
when
system,
freedom
we have
meets
to get to
speech,
it a
you get
different
free
way.
speech. And when free
It's your
speech
first
meets, you
name
get
dot
speech.
last name. Type that in as you're using it.
Or like this is in the locals chat. USA Now, who has as their avatar a John Deere tractor, just sent this meme. It says, "You stay safe, I'll stay free. You stay compliant, I'll stay defiant. You say bar, I'll say nah. Yeah, baby." We should post that on the show somewhere. See if you can check that out. The locals chat. That's the kind of rhetoric I enjoy. I like things like that. Put it on a t-shirt. And if it's t-shirts you like, look at this sweet son of a gun. Look at that.
No, it'll have you change it to what you want.
Gotcha! Stay away from my margaritas! Look at that lovely crow.
Did you cut your own neckline there?
I actually got Bea on, who works with us here, to do it. She's done it. It's nice, isn't it?
Or you eat the mini tacos
You can
on the
get
way
one of
in.
them for yourself if you want. It's merchandise. We support, through the Stay Free Foundation, organisations that help people with mental health and addiction
more
issues,
later.
which, as you've just seen, are getting considerably worse, perhaps because of the evil, malfeasant manner in which we are governed, directed continually to tawdry
Let me see
solutions in a world bereft of meaning. But we
Second.
will
Oh,
find
you-
freedom.
did you
We
have the
will find
exclamation
meaning.
point at
By
the end?
God, we shall. Now let's hear a little bit more of your free speech. This is from ZZ. I got distracted at the end of yesterday's show. Well, that's unforgivable. Are you and Gareth releasing a movie about bumholes? No, mate, I don't think so. Although, or are you releasing a movie called Bumholes? Is Bad Graphics Jack in it too? Bad Graphics Jack will be involved in the marketing of our buddy cop movie, Bumholes, where two mismatched cops make their way through a number of crises, particularly the crisis of authority that the world's currently experiencing, investigating the actions of global elites who won't tell us the truth, trying to bring about a global revolution. Yeah, we're different.
No, but it has to be along the same line. It has to have an uppercase, lowercase, a number, and a symbol.
Please, because I'd like to be in
But
the
make
sequels.
it
you know
whatever
me.
something you're going to
Sequels and
remember.
remakes is where I
If you
really
just want to use that, you
come
can.
to
but-
my own. Now, as you know, I'm in a contest, a battle of wits, strength, biceps, and sex appeal with presidential candidate Bobby F. Kennedy, who I increasingly adore. He throw down, I pick up. He challenged me, I accept the challenge. If there's another area where I could be easily defeated by a presidential candidate, it's tennis. This is from Beetle Boy. RFK looks like he means business. You're in big trouble with those put-ups, Russ. Maybe you should challenge Vivek, I think you say his name correct, to a game of tennis. Let's have a look at Vivek, the rapping presidential candidate, playing tennis. It's fun, isn't it, the world, really? People doing stuff like this.
I know.
Grunting.
No, who came up with that?
We're going to film you doing tennis. It's good look. People like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do some tennis. Don't hold. Shall I hold back on the grunt? No, lean in.
don't.
People like that. People like it.
He looks good, though, I will say.
What, at tennis?
At tennis.
Is it down here on the bottom?
Well, maybe
You
both.
just
You're
have to
not
set up
bothered,
like
mate.
two
He's
of
wearing
these
black socks, and I'd say are too dusty of a trainer.
questions. These are usually
no, I wasn't
the easiest
focused
Don't
on
ones
care
to
about what I
answer.
was, because I got the idea pretty quickly. He's playing tennis with his top off. You've really focused on the tennis.
It's good forehand. Very powerful.
That's a powerful forehand.
I think so.
What are you saying?
This is impressive.
You think you can beat me? Almost certainly.
No wonder he's just behind Trump these days.
That forehand like that. What are you saying? You're going to give him a reach round? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're offering? Oh, the dog's done another fart. He's not normally like this. It's because I've put him on a new drug because he's got a bad back. I shouldn't have done it. Okay, listen. Oh, is there any more free speech? Let's do a bit more free speech. Dr. Peter Attia. Ohio T. Next time Dr. Pete's on the show, can you ask him if a vegan or carnivore diet is better for the ball bag? No, I can't, because I'm a serious journalist and potentially revolutionary leader. Death Marks. Biden said he was going to
log
prioritize
back in
unions
using
and
that-
screwed them over
that
after he was
name
elected.
and password
Steel
you just
unions,
set up.
the truckers, he screwed them all over. And then Michael L. Ross. I'm ex-Teamsters Union. They hated Joe Biden. Jay Wild. Biden has a long history of fibs going back at least 50 years. That's a response to our guest yesterday, Faz Shakir. Well-intentioned man, I believe, who advises Bernie Sanders. But part of what we're trying to do is bring people together from across the political spectrum so that we can establish new independent, decentralized, even federalized political spaces.
Okay.
Where the maximum amount of democracy is created rather than these increasingly centralized units of despotism and corruption. A little bit of comment, your comment, in fact, on the wildfires. This is Barry John Fox. In Maui, the ordinary people seem to be helping more than the government. Respect to Tulsi Gabbard, who's on the ground helping out. She looks like a superhero anyway because of that streak. The sort of thing. I think there is a superhero with that. You know that grey streak?
Yeah.
Probably one of the Fantastic Four maybe had that.
I think that comment is true as well. Locals have been, in terms of finding a solution.
On the wrong thing? Again, like Vivek's black socks, Tulsi Gabbard. Good question. She does look like a superhero. Oh, Dickie Davis from. Sorry about that. That's a sports commentator from the 1980s who should not have been mentioned in 2023. Not for any reason other than it's not relevant to the American audience. Pride Faults. Not another dollar should go to Ukraine until Maui is rebuilt and local residents given the assistance they need. What do you think about that? Join us on the chat. Let us know if you agree with that perspective. Now, one of the stories that we've necessarily had to continually cover as the narrative has evolved is the lab leak theory. What went on that crazy old day in Wuhan? Couldn't they keep their windows shut? Ain't they washing their hands properly? What are they doing with that bat porridge down at the marketplace? We've got Alison Young on the show now. She's an investigative reporter and author of Pandora's Gamble, all about the dangerous lab leaks that happen not just in Wuhan, not the one that you're most suspicious of, but lab leaks that are happening all over the gaff, all over the globe, all over the time. Thanks for joining us, Alison. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Alison, why were concerns about a lab leak in Wuhan dismissed as a conspiracy theory, even though emails reveal that scientists were taking the lab leak theory
update that contact info, the address, phone numbers, email.
Otherwise, you're going to have to take down that backdrop of Pandora's Gamble, a title that you'll have to at some point explain. Answer the question. Why don't you answer the question? Please answer it, Alison.
You know, I think there are many reasons that the lab leak hypothesis was dismissed as a conspiracy theory. There are a variety of interests that are at play when it comes to biological research. And the thing that I've learned over my 15 years reporting on lab accidents is that regardless of whether we're talking about a lab in Wuhan, labs all over the United States and around the world, when lab accidents happen, there are extraordinary efforts to keep that information secret. And that is one of the things that I detail over and over and over in Pandora's Gamble are examples of how government entities, scientists, and others try to keep this information secret.
Now, you've been in a somewhat unique position, certainly on our show, of having actually met and interviewed the pandemic don himself, the king of Corona, Anthony Fauci, right in the midst of the pandemic. What did he tell you, and how does that conversation look now as the lab leak theory has evolved, and even as email chains that he was involved in seem to reveal that he had some indication and even belief that it could have come from a lab? Also, did he observe social distancing? Did he wear a mask? And did his hands smell very fresh?
Well, there definitely was social distancing because it was a phone call. I was working on an article for USA Today about a secret meeting that had come out in emails that occurred in February of 2020. So this is very early in what would become the pandemic. And the emails indicated that a group of international scientists had come together and had discussed the very disturbing and shocking possibility that COVID-19 may have been an engineered virus. And, you know, as your audience is aware, this is a pretty shocking thing that these viruses that we are told are universally coming from nature, that some of the world's leading scientists were behind closed doors taking very seriously the possibility it had been engineered was a shocking thing. And the only reason that we know that is that the Freedom of Information Act was used to get some of these emails out that show that that discussion occurred. And as part of that, I reached out to NIH and requested an interview with Dr. Fauci. It was an interesting situation because normally you are told that you're going to have an interview with someone like Dr. Fauci. I was not told I was going to have an interview. My phone just simply rang one day while I was on my way to my car, and a very familiar voice said, "This is Anthony Fauci. I understand you want to talk with me."
Ooh, that's exciting. And where had you left your car? Why did you car?
You know, at that moment, you're scrambling for pens and you're pulling out your notebook. And what I wanted to know from him is what was the discussion in this meeting? Because the emails show that within a matter of a few days after this meeting, one of the key participants, a scientist who has gone on to be one of the most vocal proponents of the natural origins theory, abruptly changed their mind, at least in terms of what the email records showed, and went from being concerned that the virus had been engineered to then saying in emails to other scientists that this was a crackpot theory and part of a conspiracy theory.
If you want to be a member of our locals community and become an awakened wonder, press the red button on your screen now. One of the many advantages, as well as getting guided meditations from me, is you get to ask questions to our guests while they're here. Like our friend Ashella, who right now, live on the chat, asks, can you ask Alison about the role of the military-industrial complex in the development and leak of COVID-19? And perhaps if you'd care to, Alison, I know this world is killing you, my aim is true, could you tell us also about RFK Jr.'s claims that post the 9/11 anthrax attacks originated from a CIA Pentagon lab? So there's a few questions there. One is Ashella from our community, and one's all my own, and the other one's a quote of Elvis Costello, which I shouldn't really have done.
Hey, I love that song, and he spells the name correctly in that song. So there are several questions there at once. the question about military and labs and the like, spoiler alert, my book does not solve the question of where COVID-19 came from. I wish that I had the answers to
All right,
that. I wish,
all right, man.
the
I
world
should
knew
punch
where
on this.
COVID-19 came
I'll let you
from.
finish this one
There
because
are
this one's
two
easy,
very
but the next
plausible
one we'll
hypotheses,
skip.
the lab being one and natural origins being another. But the issue of where the military comes into and biodefense research comes into play is that after the 9/11 terrorist attacks and the anthrax attacks in the United States, there was an absolute explosion in the growth of funding of research into dangerous pathogens under the effort to try to prevent pandemics and also to develop countermeasures for bioterrorism. But one of the things that has been
Right
lost
here,
in the whole lab
you'll
leak
step up the
debate
name of the
is
school.
that there are nonpartisan groups like the U.S. Government Accountability Office that have been warning for more than a decade that the proliferation of labs that are doing this biotechnology research, the more of these labs we have, the greater the opportunities for a catastrophic lab accident. So that's where some of these things come together. Now, in terms of anthrax and military labs, the FBI ultimately in their investigation pinned
in the different categories, just pick the thing that you have experience for, not just for this job, but for any job, and then what your availability is.
Washington, D.C. There are those who dispute whether that was the case or not.
Can I ask you a simple and plain question, Alison?
Yes. I don't know that there are any, but yes.
If there is such a risk of these lab leaks, why ain't there no universal regulation of biosafety in labs, please?
That is an excellent question. And it's one of the things that people do not realize is you would think that there would be very stringent regulations of the safety in labs, but there isn't, not on the international level, not on the national level. It is a very fragmented area, and it's largely self-policing. And one of the things that the public doesn't realize is that where there is some limited regulation in the United States, it's with a certain subset of pathogens called select agents. It's done by some of the same agencies that are funding the research and doing research in their own labs. And some of these agencies, the CDC being one of the agencies that is the primary regulator in the United States, where there is a limited amount of regulation of safety, they have labs that have had extraordinarily shocking accidents with their safety.
1 second, Alison, because I think we're going to make life a whole lot better. This indicates an important moment in journalistic history. It's Gareth's special question, and it's for you. And while Gareth ponders his notes, I will compliment you on Pandora's gamble. Is that because of Pandora's box out of the Greek myth? And what was Pandora's? She didn't have a gamble, did she? She just wanted to know what was in the box, I thought.
Exactly. And the whole idea behind Pandora's gamble is, I mean, we are trusting these scientists in many cases blindly that their curiosity is not going to unleash the world's evil, which is essentially what happened with Pandora. And let me be clear. I mean, science does miraculous things, and I am someone who believes that I mean, we would not be where we are now without the kinds of vaccines that have saved countless lives all over the world. But the public does need to know that these labs are operating safely. And right now, there is very little transparency or way of finding out when accidents happen or whether labs are operating in unsafe manners.
Thank you, Alison. Primal Collins says in our locals chat, it was a jar and the only thing left in it was hope. But I'll have to say, Primal Colin, that you didn't back me in the pull-up competition against RFK. So I'm very, very angry with you indeed. And Pridefault says, you are not alone, Gareth, I think in support of you after I press that button.
Thanks so much.
What's your question, please, for Alison?
Alison, I wondered really, what would the ramifications be if we were able to eventually prove that this was a lab leak? Like, what's the defense of this? Why are people so seemingly protective of that information coming out if it could ever be proven? And secondly, why do there seem to be so few politicians pushing for answers?
So when I've asked that question of scientists across the spectrum, what they have said is that if COVID-19 were proven to have come from a lab accident, it would have been essentially the equivalent of the 3 Mile Island nuclear attack or Chernobyl for the research community. This is a community that has historically enjoyed very little regulation, very little transparency when accidents occur. And so even now, with the lab leak hypothesis being given credibility, including by some of the major elements of the U.S. intelligence community, that is leading to greater calls for regulation and oversight. And it's also coming with pushback from the scientific community who really have opposed that as somehow shutting down the ability to move forward with important experiments.
Not that old.
That was a good answer to the question. Hey, will you give us a signed copy of your book, Pandora's Gamble, to give to our community? And I'll give this T-shirt and a beautiful piece of stay-free merchandise as well to them. And then they've had a beautiful T-shirt as well as a glimpse at the old thing. Why won't you look at me? Can't you stand to look at me? Not you, Alison. You're under no obligation. But you're supposed to look at me if we're going to be. I'm going to give this T-shirt and a copy of Pandora's Gamble to the first person that can answer. Could you set us a question, please, Alison?
You want me to do what?
No, I still play.
Firstly, stop ogling me like I'm a piece of cheap meat. And secondly, can you come up with a question for our community to win a free copy of your book?
Oh, okay.
I'm doing okay.
How about what is the name of the lab that is at the center of the lab leak hypothesis?
If you can't answer that question at this point, you don't deserve Alison's book and this T-shirt. And the only thing that's leaking out of this baby is pheromones. Plain and true. Pheromones that will take you to a new dimension. If you want to win that, this T-shirt and Alison's book, answer the question now in the chat, and one of our team will pick out the right person. It will not be Primal Colin, who didn't back me in my pull-up contest.
No, you'd look good in that.
Primal Colin, you could have had these. You guys work on commission, right? Big mistake. Big mistake. You pig. Oh no, I've thrown it on the camera. It's landed on the camera. What have I done? What have I done? Thank you so much for joining us. That shouldn't be there. Thanks very much for joining us, Alison, for this conversation. I hope that your book does very well. It's amazing because you used to work at USA Today. They won't have you back after this conduct, I wouldn't have thought, will they?
Luckily, they're still good friends of mine. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Good luck with your book, mate. And please, will you send us that signed copy? Otherwise, I'll have to fraudulently sign one. We don't behave like that around here. That's not the way we do it. Thanks, Alison. You can get her book, Pandora's Gamble, by clicking. We post a link in the description right now. Now, by God, what a week it is. Because, well, tomorrow, Critical Drinker's coming on to talk about movies. What go wrong with movies? Can we trust Rotten Tomatoes? And don't you take all these Rotten Tomatoes, these little beauties. Also, Dr. John Campbell's going to be on the show talking about Moderna payouts, myocarditis controversies, YouTube censorship, that kind of stuff, and ivermectin. Click the red button to join our locals community and subscribe to Rumble. It helps us if you subscribe. And you know that Rumble button? Switch it like you just, like you just can't stop. Why don't you? You get, if you become a member of our locals community, by the way, you get early access to our fantastic interviews, like our conversation with Sam Harris on the 4th of September, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Plus you get meditation. Plus you get behind the scenes access to us. You even get to join our editorial meetings and suggest questions. You could even say something like, I'll stick a bottle top on your head or take your top off in the middle of the show. And I'll probably do it.
Yeah, I think you will, yeah.
I'm easily influenced. Now, one of the stories we didn't get to cover with Alison, and that's probably your fault.
No, I think it is.
Because you were gadding about like a nitwit, unable to take your mind for a single second off that little Vietnamese smoking baby. Can we just have one more look at that little Vietnamese smoking baby? See what he's doing. Let's see what he's doing, that little darling. Oh, there he goes. Come on, get him moving.
Told that goes crazy, screaming, slamming his head on the floor, even getting sick if he doesn't get his 2 packs a day.
Pause him there. Pause him there. He shouldn't be lighting that fag yet. No. Finish. What I do, my children, finish the cigarette.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load some guns and I'm going to load them right back in and tell those out.
Especially the new bun. Okay, so listen, Moderna has paid a tiny amount of money back to the US government after making billions. It's $400 million. I wonder where it'll end up. Does this look like conflict of interest? Does this look like further corruption? Of course, they made a lot of money from them vaccines that were funded by who was it that funded it? Oh, yeah, it was you. You funded it. And the UK's former COVID medical officers just taken a job at, where is it again? Save the Children, UNICEF. No, it's Moderna. Moderna he took that job at. Is there corruption? Is there a revolving door? You betcha. Here's the news. No, Sonny Jim. Here's the effing news.
No, here's the fucking news.
Well, the pace doubled since the last time you were with us.
Vaccines to the government that were funded by your taxpayer dollars. Now, a former government worker that bought all of those vaccines has taken a brand new job. Guess where he's working? Let's have a look at how Moderna's vaccine project was funded, where the profits have gone. And I'm going to ask you, do you think it's right that someone that worked for the government during the pandemic is able to take a job at Moderna subsequently? And with all these news stories about vaccine side effects and vaccine injuries, let's have a look at how much money Moderna put aside to cover their liability in the event that a single person had an adverse reaction to a single vaccine. Not that I'm suggesting that happened anywhere.
Need your profits.
The ones that show up every day and do a good job, they end up getting hired in.
I'm a hard worker. Not just saying that.
Well, thank you. I was going to say,
I always tell everyone I won't give anyone a chance to prove this. You'll be your own proof.
I'm just not saying sort of in an official inquiry. It looks like the next thing that comes is either going to be a lie or not helpful.
An indemnity for COVID-19 suppliers, but indemnities are policy matter for government to decide. I can't comment.
So Moderna doesn't put any of its profits back into helping the victims of injuries from the Moderna vaccine. Is that correct?
So Moderna is a company that's focused on manufacturing vaccines.
They certainly are focused on it, but they like the funding to come from you, the public, whether it's in Australia, the United Kingdom, or the United States of America. What an incredible business model that is. You fund the research, they take the profits. People that work for the government go and work
the
for
one you
Moderna,
just said,
and when
one you just
studies
created.
reveal that the vaccine may not have been as effective as first claimed, there's no liability, even in the event that you were specifically injured by the vaccine. I wish I could have a business model like that, don't you?
The matter of indemnity for vaccine suppliers is a matter for government.
Oh, so in the event that there are vaccine injuries, you pay for that as well. Because government, as you know, don't have their own money. That's your taxpayer money. You fund the vaccine. The vaccine may not be as effective as they say it will. People that work for government go and work at Moderna. In the event that the vaccine is not effective, you're not allowed to even talk about it. No wonder you're not allowed to ask questions, because otherwise the whole racket falls apart.
So you're not prepared to underwrite the risk of your own vaccine?
This is a truly global issue. Australia,
Oh,
the United States
that's
of
the
America,
browser you wanna
everywhere
use.
in the world.
It's
Except for poor countries for some reason. They didn't
called
get as many
Brave.
vaccines.
You're not
Browser.
prepared to actually put money where your mouth is when
It
it comes to
doesn't
the
have
safety of
any.
your
You
vaccine.
can
Is that
turn off
correct?
all tracking.
Before you answer this question, Senator Reddick, I'll have to go to
You can use it on your
Yeah,
phone
that's
too.
just the last question there.
back to you.
You
It'll
don't
have
get close to
Chrome
the
on
truth
any
when
of
someone
the
interrupts you. Just before you answer that question, did you know I
All right,
fart?
this what you're looking at is your employee portal. Okay, this is where you'll be able to go to check your pay
Have you put
stubs and
some
stuff as
liability
well.
aside for that?
Today though, you're going to click on where it says
dry cleaning
eDOCtriNATION.
bills. That's taxpayer.
Just yes or no, you're not prepared
on
to
top there.
underwrite the safety of your own vaccine?
We take safety of our vaccines very seriously.
People just say stuff like that, don't they? We take it
And then
very
click the
seriously.
green button there. It says
Financially.
Employee Start
No,
Wizard.
seriously.
We have a very good pharmacovigilance process in place. In fact,
I'm
comprehensive one.
going to maximize that
However,
for you.
I only reiterate
Tax
that
forms and stuff like that, rules, you just sign off on. I will be giving you a written copy of all these too.
But what about a moral, social?
Yeah, I think you're going in the wrong direction when you start talking about moral social consciences, because if you had a moral social conscience, you perhaps wouldn't use taxpayer money to fund a
Yeah,
vaccine,
DuckDuckGo
nor
is,
have a fund for the liability of vaccine injuries, employ people from government that previously worked at Moderna, then go back to work at Moderna afterwards. When
Actually,
at the
not
beginning
good
of this
anymore.
pandemic, people saying, I've got a few questions.
Up next.
Is it right that we should be
In
taking
the
vaccines?
handbook,
Is
I've got
right
it
we should
printed
be
right
locked
here
in our
for you.
home? Because the past has taught me maybe not to trust big pharmaceutical companies and the government, particularly when they're working together. Guess who was
DuckDuckGo
called
is
crazy?
selling info.
You, conspiracy theory.
Social conscience of putting some of your
Yep.
profits back into helping victims of the vaccine? Zero? Is it $0?
I might just before you again, Dr. Leong, just
You
before
can still use with Brave. You can still use browser or
She's not answering. Chat.
Chrome
Don't you love
extensions
Australian
and stuff.
politics? It's like, come on, man, plainly you've ripped off the
I
whole
like the one
country,
that shows
possibly
you.
the whole
Still
world.
shows
We
the
take
dislikes.
safety
so you
research.
can-
But just before you answer that, Ishnay on the vaccine's not working, nay. If I touch my glasses, it means you're about to ruin our business model. Stop talking.
I respect you asking questions. I just want to make sure we can get to Senator Antic and get to our timetable. But
I'll just take that as a zero. Thank you.
In the United States of America, a recent $400 million payment has been made to the NIH. Let's look at that. Is it enough money? And what's it for? And where will it end up? As Moderna racked up tens of billions of dollars in sales of its coronavirus vaccine, the company held off on paying for the rights to a chemical technique that scientists said it borrowed from government-funded research and used in its wildly successful shot. We're just borrowing this technique. Very interesting, because of course at that time everything was a rush. There was an international global emergency. But I noticed that a lot of the decisions seem to have benefited a certain strata of government, a certain strata of the corporate world. And when it comes to injuries, damages, consequences, costs, small businesses closing, suicide rates, people taking their own lives, mental health, addiction issues, it seems that there's been no contingency there. Very peculiar. But Moderna and the government have now reached an agreement. The company said on Thursday that it had made a $400 million payment for the technique that will be shared by the National Institute of Health and 2 American universities where the method was invented. Extraordinary. $400 million sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. So imagine how much money Moderna must have made. Presumably it's a great deal because they're taking on all sorts of new staff members at the moment, some of whom, by coincidence, worked at the government when they were buying the Moderna vaccines. What a small world. What a small, corrupt world. The payment disclosed in Moderna's latest earnings report represented a small victory for the experts and activists who long argued that the company had resisted acknowledging its debt to the government and academic researchers. If pharmaceutical companies are going to make billions of dollars, which they are, it seems reasonable that the scientists who helped generate some of the initial intellectual property in the universities also share some of the gains, said Jason McClellan. Moderna is still locked in a separate high-stakes dispute with the NIH over who invented the central component of the vaccine, the genetic sequence that helps recipients produce an immune response. Like when my children argue, they have conversations like that. I was going to wear that anyway, then she wore it, and I was going to this is like the NIH and Moderna. This is billions of dollars, your billions of dollars, curiously. We was going to invent that anyway. You just said it before. Do you know what's really annoying? I came up with the idea for Harry Potter, and then bloody J.K. Rowling wrote it. Give us some of that money. The NIH said its scientists, some of whom have been collaborating for years with Moderna, had helped to design that sequence. Moderna also received nearly $10 billion in taxpayer funding to develop and test the vaccine and to provide doses to the federal government. The company has sold roughly $36 billion worth worth of coronavirus vaccines worldwide. If indeed the taxpayer helped create that vaccine, then the taxpayer bought that vaccine, then the taxpayer pay if that vaccine goes wrong, meanwhile people question the efficacy of that vaccine, it seems that some of that $36 billion, more than 400 million, a tiny percentage of it, should find its way back to the taxpayers. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Moderna has benefited richly from government largesse, and it does owe a public duty, but it's been very begrudging and slow in acknowledging that public duty, said Lawrence Gostin, a professor of global health law at Georgetown University. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I suppose so. I suppose you did give us that money. Okay, here's some of the profits. Mr. Gostin said the agreement announced on Thursday, which was finalized in December, was a small token in the right direction. What is this? Like Monopoly? Yes, we acknowledge that you did fund that whole vaccine and we could never have invented it without you, and that you gave us all of the money and we took all the profits. And in
just
order to acknowledge that,
couple things that we have to do with this form. Let me do it for you.
There it is. Let me get some tweezers.
NA has to go there.
Small token. We
If there's no apartment number, we have to put NA there too.
Oh, when you came up with a vaccine, I can't remember.
And just type the date.
Chris
Put
Ridley, a
the
Moderna spokesman, said in a statement that the
with
company and
slashes
government
between
have
it.
been
Yeah.
engaged in productive discussions since 2020 regarding the licensing.
Slashes on the
of certain
bottom right
patents
there.
related to
You shouldn't
COVID-19
have to hit
vaccines. I'll tell you
shift.
what the rest of us have been involved in since 2020. A terrible economic disaster, a mental health crisis, and a global nightmare. They've been having productive discussions. How about some of that money back? No, I could offer you another small token. Where is that?
Chopper about 5%.
He added, it was always our intention to reach an agreement.
Just type it. It'll put the dashes in for you there.
December. Oh, you lovely guys.
Yep.
They always intended to. We didn't intend to just make a massive profit and then give you a small token. The company has forecast COVID vaccine sales of $5 billion for 2023. A great time to be working for Moderna. That's why so many government officials that did work for the government are now working for Moderna. In fact, by a weird coincidence, Jonathan Van Tam, whose name is too much like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jonathan Van Ness's names, he was in charge of part of the COVID response in our country, the UK, during the pandemic. Guess where he's just got a job? You're going to love this. Meanwhile, Sir Jonathan Van Tam, it's almost like the establishment are all working together to reify and make people seem real reliable, efficient, and better than you, while they're 1 minute working for the government and the next minute working for Moderna, but they're better than you, remember? You don't have a Sir in front of your name. I can't afford a Sir in front of my name.
Same across the board for
that.
almost
Sounds
any
like
labor
someone who needs a
position.
token. So Jonathan Van Tam, the UK's former Deputy Chief Medical Officer, who became a household name during the pandemic, has become a senior medical consultant to the COVID-19 vaccine maker, Moderna. That's the sort of thing you don't want happening. Imagine if at the beginning of the pandemic, when people say, listen, you lot, this is our World War II. Why don't you all just join in? That's not patriotic. Listen, we should be shaming those people. Imagine you said then, what if high-level government officials that are involved in the recommendation of these
Okay,
solutions
I'll scroll way down here.
happen, you idiot.
In there.
It is happening, though. It is. It actually is happening. Jonathan Van Tam, whose name suggests he lives somewhere between an action star and a type of biscuit, has just been given a job at Moderna when the whole way through the pandemic. Guess what he was saying? You know what the answer
Then
to
the
this
first
is?
box there in the
Moderna,
gray.
known by the initials
That you
JVT.
did not use a translator.
Oh, cool. He's got a nickname. That makes all the corruption just melt away. As long as we're getting shafted
You
by
go to the
people who've got
bottom.
cool initials.
I do the very bottom
Fauci,
part, so.
Hey, AF's on the way to F you up the BH. He was remembered by the striking metaphors he used during Downing Street briefings on the progress of the virus. Perhaps now he'll be remembered for the striking doctors and nurses who suddenly aren't as popular as they were during the pandemic.
UGC.
Remember the rainbows in the window? Do you remember the clapping for carers? It seems like with all that money being made, none of it seems to be trickling down towards doctors and nurses. That's strange, isn't it? He took up the role as part-time clinical advisor to the American biotechnology company on the 2nd of May. Van Tam, a professor who was knighted in the 2022 New Year's honours. Oh, like that is exactly how it works. Isn't it exactly how you believe it works? Okay, Jonathan Van Tam, or JVT as we call you. Arise, Sir JVT. Well done with your fantastic work. And if this knighthood isn't enough, here's a job at Moderna. What about the rest of the country? My small business has collapsed. Tokens, anyone? Was a member of the government's vaccine
Do you have any
during the pandemic, which made decisions on supply contracts for COVID jabs, investments in manufacturing and clinical opportunities.
that you claim?
So during the pandemic, it was up to him to decide who to give your money to.
Okay.
And then
Now, the way
after
the feds
pandemic,
work
you got a
now
job
is
on
if
one of the companies they gave your money
it's
to.
automatically
I'm
going to
gonna
put
need
you in
a
as
big
claiming
token,
you.
baby. The UK government bought tens of millions of
and
COVID
then
jabs from
now
Moderna
with the
during
other
the pandemic and
would be
struck a 10-year
dependents.
partnership with the US drug maker to boost research and development
just
of
to get the numbers right.
UK, including constructing a new
No,
vaccine factory.
I mean,
Well,
let's look at with just you, and if they're taking too much, let me know and I can adjust.
Investigations into financial
All right.
corruption and the relationship between the state and big corporations. Might have to say, oh no, that COVID thing, it
there,
was
the rest
what
is
the
just a
conspiracy
worksheet.
theorists said it was. It was a racket. It was opportunism.
Now here,
to use a
you do not have to
JVT
put
style metaphor, we took our eye off
your
the ball
license
and
number,
we've
and
been
then if it's
shafted
just
right up the
you,
shitter.
Don't tear the pants off.
one there.
When are they going to start looking into this as ordinary standard
that.
corruption, the kind of corruption that those kind of newspapers used to investigate?
Okay.
Moderna
These ones that say pending review, it just means I have to do my portion, so you're good.
Experience and expertise
All right,
as a
slide back over
specialist
to the great
influencer,
table. We're bringing some paperwork. Some of this
influencer,
stuff
more
is
like it,
redundant.
including its epidemiology, transmission, vaccinology, and pandemic preparedness. Although many people say that one of the main problems is we prepared for the influenza pandemic rather than what this was, which was a different type of pandemic, though it was very profitable for old Van Tam. As well as a globally renowned academic and educator, will be a vital asset to Moderna as we work to improve population health security. Yeah, and possibly relationships with the government, and also perhaps ease the passageway between your taxpayer money and their profits, which seems to be a pretty fluid passage right now. Van Tam is prohibited from using privileged information from his time in government to further his business interests. Well, that's good then, because we've really seen over the last few years how we can trust everybody. It's not like everything they said at the beginning has been a total pack of absolute lies. So don't worry, because look, he's not allowed to share privileged information. So go back to your cozy little bed, safe in the knowledge, nothing to worry about. When Van Tam left his government role, the then Health Secretary, Saeed Javid, praised him for his unique approach to explaining crucial information to the public. JVT's one-of-a-kind approach to communicating science over the past 2 years has no doubt played a vital role in protecting and reassuring the nation, making him a national treasure. I'm surprised there's any treasure left for the nation after how much Moderna and this mob have taken out of it. Do you see how they patronisingly enjoy the idea that JVT apparently used sports metaphors in his communicating of pandemic policy, which I actually regard in retrospect as somewhat patronising. Perhaps if it had been shown that the pandemic had been expertly handled, that the medicines had been highly effective, that the strategies had taken into place the likely economic impact and the impact on other diseases like cancer and heart disease and mental health conditions, maybe I'd look back on JVT's sports metaphors as an indication that he's one of the lads, that he's one of us, that the people are being governed fairly by people who speak their language and understand their rules. In retrospect, what it looks like is manipulative, propagandist corruption from someone who went on to work for the companies that benefited financially from the pandemic. Van Tam became known for giving COVID updates in a light-hearted way, often using football or other analogies. Okay, it's nearly kick-off, so sit down on your seats and get ready for game time. After this, I'm going to get a nice little massage from the guys at Moderna because we're all one big team together, yeah? In late 2020, he told the BBC that in the early stages of the pandemic, the away team gave us an absolute battering. And presumably he meant the away team was the coronavirus itself. But no, it looks like the away team was the pharmaceutical industry and their relationship with your government and your taxpayer dollars. And indeed, they did give us an absolute battering. Adding, in the 70th minute, we've now got an equaliser. Oh, he's using 70th minute. He's just like us. Okay, we've got to hold our nerve now and see if we can get another goal and nick it. Oh, he got another goal and nicked it, all right. Guess where he's working now? Moderna. In fact, if you want a metaphor, it's like he played in goal for one football team, let in a load of goals, and then went to work at the football team that scored all those goals against him. There's a sports metaphor I'd like to see him unpack. The announcement of Van Tam's appointment to Moderna raised some eyebrows. Raised some eyebrows? Wait a minute, a person that was working for the government and setting up all of these Moderna contracts is going to work for Moderna. Oh, this looks like corruption. Okay, eyebrows, do your worst. Rose Whiffen, the senior research officer at Transparency International UK, said, when companies employ former officials, regardless of whether they worked in that industry before their government role or not, it raises the risk of privileged information being misused for commercial benefit. It's not the risk of that, it's the point of that. That is why that's happening. Do you seriously think there is no connection at all between dear old Jonathan, metaphor-using, eyebrow-raising Van Tam having a position where he was able to facilitate massive profits for Moderna, taking a job at Moderna? And while you're answering that question, do you think there's no connection between Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister, being an investor in a hedge fund that invested in Moderna and refusing to talk about whether he profited? There's a lot of coincidences going on, and when the number of coincidences becomes unignorable, I think what you have is conspiracy. Currently, there are only minimal safeguards against abuse of the revolving door between the public and private sector. Yes, that's because it's institutionalized corruption. The government should prohibit ex-senior civil servants and ministers from taking up positions where they have substantial responsibility for policy relevant to the hiring company. You know why they've not done that? Because then people wouldn't take those roles. They go, well, hold on, why should we work in government if we can't use that experience? That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. The knighthood, taking a sort of a comparatively low paid civic role before taking a hugely paid role at a corporation. That is literally, you know already, don't you, how the system works. If you stop that, you're changing the system. That's why you need parties, politicians, organizations that say, what we're going to do is introduce policies that prevent that. And if you don't get that, you don't really get anything, because that's, in a sense, the nucleus of our problem. Van Tam has also been a consultant to the World Health Organization on influenza since 2004. The World Health Organization that provides your community guidelines here on YouTube, if that's where you're watching it. It's almost like all of these things are connected. Not only is this a disgusting, appalling story in and of itself, but it's also a perfect template for how things work more broadly. What is it when the mainstream media bring on military consultants to advocate for war that have undeclared relationships with Raytheon or Lockheed Martin? What is it when a government official 1 minute is telling you that you ought to be taking these vaccines, that it's the only solution, that we could score a goal in the 70th minute and nick it, and then the next minute is working at Moderna? That is the system. It's what you've always known. It's what you've always suspected. It's what you imagined was going to happen at the beginning of the pandemic. You realized it more quickly than we did even, and now there's proof.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the last part.
He worked in the pharmaceutical and vaccines industries from 2000 until 2004 for SmithKline Beecham, which became part of GSK, Roche, and a joint venture between Sanofi Pasteur and MSD. Additionally, Rishi Sunak, the current Prime Minister, basically president of our country, also has some interesting ties to Moderna. Here they are. In 2020, then Chancellor, means in charge of the money, Rishi Sunak, refused to disclose whether he would profit from a surge in the share price of COVID-19 vaccine manufacturer Moderna, one of the biggest investments held by the hedge fund he co-founded before entering Parliament. Before entering Parliament, he came up with a hedge fund, a bunch of money. They invested a lot in Moderna. Then while he was in charge of the British public's money, they invested a lot of money in Moderna. Then when asked, hey, are you going to profit from that? He refused to answer it. Presumably, because his answer was going to make us so happy that he thought, oh, what? You thought because I'm not answering this question about whether or not I'll profit from Moderna just because I co-funded a hedge fund which invested in Moderna and now we're buying a bunch of Moderna vaccines. Those vaccines were a surprise for your birthday and you've ruined it. You're just like your Pfizer. Cheers, it's been a while. Sunak was a founding partner of Fevleen Partners, a major investor in Moderna and one of the executives managing its US office. He left the firm in 2013, returning to the UK to pursue his political career. Well, now that I've set up this hedge fund, I've got to pursue my real dream of serving the British people in government office. I just wonder if all those experiences that I've had invested in Moderna will ever come in handy in my new role, being in charge of all the money of the British taxpayer. I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful if those two things at some point interacted? It is not known whether Sunak retained any investment in the Fevleen fund after leaving. Fevleen is registered in the Cayman Islands, a tax haven, which does not make the company records public. Well, there you go. Government officials benefiting from investments made by you and officials that have worked at the WHO and Moderna, working at government, profiting from your money. The whole thing is literally exactly what we thought it would be all along, except perhaps actually a bit worse. Just remember some of the stations of the cross on this journey to your awakening. Remember the moment when the mainstream media said people that were cynical about vaccines should be shamed. Just remember the moments when people were getting Pfizer tattooed on their bodies. Just remember the moments when Anthony Fauci was held up as if he'd scored a Super Bowl touchdown in the last few seconds of the game. Just contemplate for a moment where that $400 million that the NIH spent might actually end up. Do you reckon that money's going to benefit you in some way? Think for a second about the biolabs across Ukraine and how they're funded and where that money's going and what could happen if it falls into Russian hands. And think for a moment if you can trust a single thing they tell you ever. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the chat. Until next time, if you can, stay free.
No, here's the fucking
So the things you need to yes, you use that to this out. This we keep on file for the Food and Drug Administration. On the first page, it's taken correct, it's sign page here is in file. You receive that handbook and it's going to follow the source of employee. Okay. Then you have this training. Read these rules, sign the initials at the bottom of this training, and then there's multiple check. Not a pass fail thing. The answers are in here, but you can't find it. Okay. The way it works is if you miss anything, I have to go over it. Okay. Yep. All right. Good timing here.
They are worried that if an election takes place, they are worried that the right might actually do some ballot chasing. They are worried that we might actually secure some elections. They are worried they can't pull off the master stroke of 2020 again. Put
That's
Biden
crazy,
in the basement,
JC.
shut down the country, masks, vaccines, Floydapalooza, racial reckoning. All the oligarchs spend money, suppress the opposition. Hunter Biden laptop, boom, suppress that. They're worried they can't pull that off again because that took every possible favor, every possible institution to be in harmony. They're afraid they can't get that all lined up. So they say, you know what, just forget it. Just don't let him on the ballot. Just do not let him on the ballot. Doesn't matter if he's not convicted. Doesn't matter. What they're saying is No criminal conviction is necessary. That you could just kind of think it. You could just allege it. Just like, hey, he's an insurrectionist. Why? Because we think it. Now, thankfully, this probably will not be held up by the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court would say, yeah, this is crazy. But that doesn't mean they're not going to try. They're going to say that he gave aid and comfort to insurrectionists, which can define as bad tweets. Imagine the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania or Michigan literally having a one-party election and having the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania saying, we are here to protect democracy, and only Joe Biden will be led on the ballot. Huh. So the party of democracy wants one person on the ballot. It's like the Soviet Union. Joseph Stalin elected with record support. Yeah, there's no one else on the ballot. The Atlantic article continues. If you want any evidence for your left-wing friends that the intelligentsia of the American left are nothing more than medieval defenders of oligarchs, just read this article. And they are not joking around. Somebody said, Charlie, what do you mean that Trump is the underdog? This is what I mean by Trump is the underdog. They have not even started to scrap. A very, very smart friend of mine said, Charlie,
hey, it's Norm.
As recently said to me, and so smart, he said, as
when did you want to get started back up?
aggressive the American right was in trying to challenge the 2020 election results, times it by 10, and that is what the left will do.
Be on Telegraph,
and the
okay?
media will cover
It'd be on Telegraph. First shift, right? Okay. Well, you're breaking up bad.
Continues by
sorry,
saying, the
what'd you
men
say?
who framed and ratified the 14th Amendment entrusted us, the people of the United States.
Yeah,
It
it's
means
right now.
to
That's the only
vigilantly
place that they
protect
have
against
available
those
is
who would
the
make a
one on
mockery
Telegraph.
of American democracy.
First shift, right?
Oligarchy.
Okay.
The Constitution, the rule of
I
law,
got you written
and of
down.
America itself, it fell to generations
I'll let
that
them
followed
know
to
before I
enforce
leave today
our
that
hallowed
you'll be there in the
Constitution
morning.
and ensure
Get
that
the
our
boots and
union
everything?
endures today. That responsibility
Good luck.
falls to us.
Right. Yep. Hey.
Fail at sending Trump to prison, here's our backup plan. Kick him off with this law review article. But there's another wrinkle to this. It's not just far left wingers in Lawrence Tribe that are pushing this. This is also from people who self-describe themselves as conservative scholars. Conservative scholars have cozied on up to this. In fact, two people that are members of the Federalist Society, which does excellent work traditionally, is saying there's a lot of merit to this. That Section 3's disqualification clause has by no means outlived its contemplated necessity, nor will it ever, as the post-Civil War framers presciently foresaw. To the contrary, this provision of our Constitution continues to protect the Republic from those who are bent on its dissolution. Every official who takes an oath to uphold the Constitution's Article 6 provides every public official is obligated to enforce this very provision. That's a bunch of psychobabble from people that are nuts. So why are they doing this? They're doing it because they're insecure. Just listen to this this stream of consciousness from the CIA morning show, Play Cut 41. '41, please. Actually, just 4.
Yuck. All set?
Yep.
Hello, William. Hey, at the storm, is there any way you could come down and redo they want you to redo that safety paperwork? I'm sorry? Okay. What time do you think you would be able to get down here? Okay, that's fine. It's not going to take us long. We just have to do that paperwork part. We've done everything we need to do on the computer. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, at the minimum. That's 2 hours away. So. All right, just get here as soon as you can. All right, bye.
Today, try to get the show done so that I can get some business attended to this afternoon. Then we'll come back and we'll do a debrief. And it's Tuesday. I've got men's group, so we'll try to squeeze in just a little bit of a hello for members only after the show a little bit later. So that's the plan. Probably about 5 o'clock here, 8 p.m. Eastern time, maybe a little bit earlier than it. Depends when I get done this afternoon. So hang tight. Before we jump in, my friends, if you've got them, and I'm sure you do, pause and prayers for Bonnie. Says that her daughter, Jen, has now been flown out from Reno to Vegas for emergency medical care, acute liver failure, enlarged gallbladder, cause unknown. So, Bonnie, we're praying for you. We're praying for your family. Hopefully, you guys are hanging in there. She's been sick for months, but they keep saying the tests come back normal. So hopefully she's hanging in there. Prayers for Jen. Prayers for the Bonnie family over there. And of course, we'll check back in after the show. All right, I see Tanya's here with Happy Taco Tuesday, enchilada, chocolate milkshake, banana split, and peas day. We'll come back to that one. We'll save that one for the end as well. But thank you, Tanya. Good to see you in the house. All right, my friends, let's kick it off and get started because we've got some business to attend to before we come back here and do our after party in 3, 2, and 1. All right, my friends. I just pressed the Let's Go Live button, which means we've got to wait for the stream to fire up all across the fruited plain of the internet before we can go ahead and get started. Of course, it's Tuesday. We are here a little bit early, and we appreciate you joining us. Hopefully your week is rocking and rolling ahead. We're checking on the Rumbles, the YouTubes, the locals, the Twitters, and it looks like we're alive. So let's get started, shall we? Hello, my friends, and welcome back to yet another episode of Watching the Watchers Live, the show that spotlights misconduct involving police, prosecutors, and politicians. My name is Robert Gouveia. I am a criminal defense attorney, and today we are talking about Donald Trump's prosecutors and how they're now demanding that the trial on the January 6th case stay as scheduled. They want it done immediately, or they want it done in December and January, which is what they're urging it to be scheduled for. And Trump and his people said, that's insane. We've got 11.5 million documents, which is literally 8+ Washington monuments that they sent over in paper format.
When do you think
11.5 million pages. And they put together a brilliant motion. We'll do a recap
on this on Thursday,
because this is a graph from the motion.
Just gave me the approval.
They said the Washington Monument, if you
that's who I've been calling.
Measure it in feet, it's 555 feet.
So,
but if you stacked
I'll
up
probably know
all
something
of the
Thursday.
pages
If you
of
haven't
11.5 million documents
reach out
that they have delivered over
the
to
numbers
Trump's
on the
team,
back of that.
that's 4,822 feet, which is about 8 Washington monuments.
If you're not in my contacts,
that's how much paper there is, literally 8 Washington monuments. So the government responded to this, and we're going to read through that. Jack Smith basically is saying that Trump and his defense team really don't need to read everything. You know, the government has summarized all of this for them, and
everything
kind of
looks
encouraging
good.
Trump and his defense lawyers to commit malpractice by not reviewing the actual evidence in the case. Because they're like, you don't really need to read that. And they're caught in a pickle here because what are they going to do? They can't say, oh, we over disclosed now. You actually don't need all that. So it's going to be just a mess. They're painting themselves into a corner. We're also going to check out the bond now that has been set in Georgia, because this is a total joke. They kept telling us that Trump was the leader of a literal insurrection, right? The biggest threat on attack on American democracy since the Civil War. They've all said it. And then they release him on a $200,000 bond. He's like a billionaire. That's like tip money. That's like a parking lot violation. All right. Well, it's like an extra hour of his airplane. All right. What, he's flying around? That's like fuel for 15 minutes on his airplane? Who cares? So this is just hysterical. Now it's a big number, okay, for you and me, like that, $200,000. Like that's a lot of money. It's not tip money. It's like, a lot. So for us, it might sound like a big number, but this was the guy who almost stole the whole country, and they're going to give him a $200,000 bond. What a joke. Anyway, so something doesn't add up. Trump's walking around. The rest of these so-called insurrectionists are still in custody. So something's off here. Now, they're saying that Trump is not going to be treated like anyone else. One of the most bizarre clips here where CNN says he's not going to be treated like anyone. He's going to be treated like everyone else, except for all of these changes that we're going to make specifically for Trump. So we'll go through that. Donald Trump has responded to this. He's got some release conditions he's going to agree to, but those haven't been entered yet. Those are coming, and we'll go through that $200,000 bond. And he's apparently going to be self-surrendering or turning himself in or whatever on Thursday. So we'll go through all of that. Then we've got an interesting update on the Biden-Ukraine connection. Very nice memo dropped from our friends John Solomon over at Just the News. They do great reporting there. And
in NFJ. we're listening to Watching the Watchers, Robert Gouveia, but we're flipping between these Kensington area of Philadelphia, these open air drug markets. These folks don't even care. They know there's three different views here. There's this one, which is panning around. It does zoom in when they start seeing somebody shooting up or a deal being made. Someone on my Twitch stream just said, "Oh, we're demonizing the homeless now," which is the exact opposite of what we're doing here. We're just showing the decline that is happening, and it's out in the open. You know, it has nothing to do with homelessness. This is addiction. So yeah, that's what we're watching. You're listening to Robert in the background, though. No, I mean, it's pointing it out. Yeah, that's Philly, Kensington area of Philly. This is Needle Park, Fort McPherson / Needle Park. Bao showed this yesterday. He was playing some pretty hard music in the background. I think it's important. Kind of things used to be hidden. What's this person doing? This brings it to the forefront. I commend the people that are doing this. They're not doing it to shame them. These people go and bring them clean needles and everything like that that are running this stream. I looked into it last night. Anything they make goes right back into it. I mean, look, faith, hope, charity. I mean, yeah, the chat gets pretty vulgar, but the chat doesn't. Look at this. Doesn't matter what color you are, what ethnic background you are, it can affect you. It's true. This is live, though. Exactly, JC. Yeah. Or old drugs coming back. Huh. I missed 333. Welcome. Okay. I missed 333. you later in the dark. We'll see ya. Now look how good he's eating. That was good. Most well-fed homeless in the world, in our country. Yeah. This is why I respect what my wife does so much. She takes folks like this out of Cleveland constantly. At least gives them a chance. Housing and everything afterwards. I'm just the IT guy. I don't participate in it, but my wife busts her butt. I was in 2010, 13 years ago. Good for her. Took me 5 years to figure it out. Do that, Pete Morton. Where I was too. Then I got so bitter I ended up leaving as an E3. So disillusioned with him. Oh yeah, it is. I agree. Oh, somebody getting jabbed there. Poor dog. Dealers. I didn't see much. I was over there for Desert Storm. That was it. The rest of it was stuck in Louisiana. Yes.
The car came in, they put it in my back pocket. I lost it when I ride my bike.
Already?
Yeah, man. I know you was gonna say something, but I was moving too fast. I was downtown somewhere. My back pocket, so I'm putting it in my back. Yeah.
You never called that one in?
No.
Never activated it? Okay. They won't give you that hard of a time then.
They give me a hard time. Contact. Came up on it for the exit. Hard to activate. Was two to activate.
All right.
Cut off.
Okay. So you be at work today?
They were trying to make it. They told me, the doctor told me they want me to take 2 days off. 2 more days off.
All right.
But most likely not. Tomorrow, yes.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing is that dog, I don't think that guy holding the dog is financially burdened right now. Pretty sure he is. Yeah, I was. I think he has something to do with the distribution of these products. We just look too cleaned up, healthy. It's backing up. All right. Just haven't seen the gray table. Everything we did on the computer is already done. We just want to do this part. Put them in your folder again. Thanks for getting down here so quick. Carrie even said, I wonder what happened to him. Well, you got to throw some hiding now. Like
Are they working on Friday or what?
Yeah, but I mean, they're not doing 5 days, so after this week, she'll probably have you on the schedule. She'll show you what day off you have.
Today is 21st.
22nd, 22. Grab right there. Okay, and there's the handbook. They kind of did some updates with it too. That's why they wanted to redo it. Mostly just make things more up to date. You know the rules though, basically. And then just a copy of that sheet that you signed there. So on this one here, we keep on file for the Food and Drug Administration. This is what I need filled out. You keep that. You use that to answer the questions on here. First page is just a signature register. Print, sign, and initial, just the top line there. This is an acknowledgement you received that and you're going to follow the rules. Where it says employee, print, sign, and date. Read the bottom where it says training conducted by. Read these rules, sign, date, print, initials. I do the bottom where it says training conducted by, and then there's the question. If you find one you can't find in the handbook, just let me know. I'll explain it to you. Hurdle. For allergen changeover, yeah. You too, JC. They're actually in the break room, so you have access to them. You too, JC. Good trade. Yeah. Yeah, Kensington. All right. I'm just gonna- No food in your locker. There's a place in the break room for it. Other than that, good job. You're all set. See you tomorrow. Keep that, yeah. Good luck to you. If you need anything, just reach out. Okay, so the 989 number, is that your main number now? Okay, I'll make sure I set that up. Yeah, I know. That's actually what I'm playing next after this.
Away,
This is
obviously.
what we're listening to.
He responded August 21st at 6:55 p.m.
Sad, isn't it?
You're not fired. You're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Yesterday, I met to speak with the general prosecutor's office. I especially asked him
we want it gone. We're ready to move forward with signing the $1 billion loan guarantee.
And I don't know how you want to go about that. So I'll leave it up to you as to how you want that done and when you want it done.
All right, so there are the phone calls. We know exactly what they're doing
you're not-
there. I said if you don't fire the Hey, everybody, thanks for attending a productive meeting yesterday. It was agreed that the IPC concluded that, one, Ukraine has made sufficient progress on its reform agenda to justify a third guarantee. Oh. So then why did Joe Biden try to eliminate that? Ukraine has an economic need for the guarantee, and it is in our strategic interest to provide them one. As such, we recommend moving forward with a third loan guarantee in the near term, noting State Department's presence to issue the guarantee as late as possible to allow more clarity on the budget content.
We're gonna have something a little lighter on after this live show's done. So
I'm leaving early, so John might ask you.
come see me. No worries.
Sorry.
No worries. Gotta do what we gotta do. Not sure I agree with that, Martin. Look at this. Trying to revive him. Is he blowing into his mouth? Right, Martin, I get it. Well, back in 2008, I was living the life for a while. Then was homeless in 2010. I thought I could afford it. I love milk. Milk just doesn't like me. Oh yeah, 357. Definitely something to be proud of. Yeah, Lord. Good thing. It sounds like my dad's mother. Right in the neck. Stab in the neck. Oh. Neck stabbing in progress. I was too for the time I had him. Lost him about 16 years ago. True, Martin. part of your brain that makes you believe that you have a voice. Sorry. Same 357. Even if I'm mad at him sometimes. That's my choice, I guess, to be mad. Yeah, my AG1 has been pretty helpful. As far as that goes, energy and stuff. I just drink iced tea. I mean, it's got caffeine in it, but virtually the rest of my diet is pretty much carnivore. Hey, Brandon.
The prosecutor decided that they would say, oh, yes, this is an ongoing investigation and put it all into high gear?
Yeah, Martha, the
They got
whistleblowers
caught.
have been right all along.
They got
They've
busted.
been tested. They've produced documents. They've been corroborated. The Department of Justice hasn't produced any information, but now through what the defense has given to the media, actually, we're getting a good look into what was going on between these plea negotiations. And the fact that this has never been told before, but apparently Chris Clark, Hunter Biden's attorney, went over Weiss's head to appeal Weiss, and he got a meeting at the Deputy Attorney General's office on April 26th of this year, just 1 week after my
What if the guy was just getting stabbed in the neck over here? Ooh, nice. I thought crack didn't exist anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I'm around. You're right. Alex pulled that. No judgments here. Nick Conk.
truth, right? The mechanics, the tools of truth, which are free speech, free association, free exercise, all of those Enlightenment era principles.
All right.
Those are those tools lead us to truth, and they.
Going to lighten it up a little bit, guys. Some about Shane's Secret podcast. Me and my son are going to see Shane Gillis next month in Detroit.
Wow, wow, West.
Good, how you doing?
Great, thank you.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Well, I'm calling you just to inform you about a new state-regulated final expense insurance plan that has just been approved for senior citizens who earn a fixed income, like Social Security, disability, and retirement. This plan is designed to cover 100% of your funeral, burial, and cremation expenses. How old are you?
69.
Great. Let me bring the state license coordinator for your state on the line to share information with you.
Prank calls all the time.
Thank you so much for holding on. This is Michael, one of the senior here. How are you today?
Good.
Great. Actually, you were talking to one of my associates and are interested in learning about cheapest rate for life insurance policies, including whole life and final expense insurance, correct?
Could be, yes.
Could be.
Oh, I knew they were gonna hang up on you. Yeah, you can't give him any attitude, bro.
Got you. He got
You
me.
can't give him any attitude.
I've been going huge anus, dude, killing them. That's the first name, Hugh. Last name, that's weird. Janus. Like, okay. I was like, can you repeat that? Hugh Janus. Fuck you, piece of shit, fucking asshole.
Yeah, they're quick now. They pick up on the sass and they hang up immediately. I turtle up. I usually go like, I don't know. And they immediately like, shut up, man.
There was
hang up
a
right away.
switch in me that flipped where I started like openly motherfucking them. And once you can do that, you can talk to anyone on the phone.
Really?
So I'm just saying, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. If you can start doing that to people like the telemarketers, it's the best.
Kind of fun. Yeah.
You mean you took it into real life?
No, they've tried before. They were saying like, your name is whatever and you live here. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking live here. Come fucking find me, you pussy.
I thought you were saying you developed a skill from it, like from being able to talk
Yeah, I'm
shit
better
to
at
them.
talking on the phone because of it. Like I'm not
Yeah.
like weird on the phone. Like I also talk on the I used to talk on the phone every day.
I'd panic on the phone.
I never do.
I call like
voicemails. I panic on voicemails.
trying to
dude.
order something or
Hitting
start
chicks
a
with a phone
reservation.
call
I'm like,
destroys them.
What?
Why?
Fucking talking to a chick and like I'll be driving. If I'm talking to a chick, I'll drive. Like she's trying to set up dinner plans for a weekend. Immediate phone call. She's like, "What's up?" Gets them off their axis.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're talking about when you're
Courting
meeting
a woman.
meeting a new girl.
You call them and say,
I'll call them. Yeah,
Yeah, they
hello.
love talking on the
Fucking
phone, dude.
psycho.
That's all they want to do.
They get real uneasy.
They
though.
would just love to hear another voice in their head the whole
think
time.
something's wrong.
Girls love talking on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I do like when I see black dudes do that when they come into the store they have like the conversation already going on.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things.
On the phone?
Yeah, they'll be in like they'll walk into a store and
Bluetooth.
just go, yeah. They look at me, how much is that? And then you guys be like, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, and then they keep talking while you're bringing
very
it up.
I think that's extremely inconsiderate.
I think it's fun.
I think if I'm when I was on the Parrot and I was in there, I'd be like, hold on, you can try to make your friend laugh on the Parrot when they're in the store,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you can't have a full blown conversation.
I do it almost every day at the coffee shop.
Yeah, but you're not having the
I
conversation.
don't
You stop.
talk. Yeah,
To be fair, I guess, yeah.
It's no etiquette.
but yeah, you can't. When I worked at Ardmore, I got hit with the Bluetooth conversations in between.
Yeah.
Pricing people out. And
It's
constantly, what?
so funny though.
It
It's always
does bother me.
yeah.
Yeah, and they go, what?
It's always very quiet. It's a quiet conversation.
Makes none.
And then it's like no one's talking on the other end. It's just
I worked with a dude, a fucking Muslim
so
dude who
funny.
had 4 wives. And
Nice.
we were
God, that's
in
a lot
a
of phone calls.
We were in a 2 foot, literally it was all day long. We were
Yeah.
in a 2
I know
foot
like
like
one
chase
Muslim wife.
of it was like a brick wall, concrete brick wall. And we were just jackhammering all day long through that. And he had headphones and the fucking wire going down, talking to people all day.
Through
All
the
his wives.
jackhammer?
Yep. It was fucking crazy. His wife like one worked for the PPA, one worked for Dunkin' Donuts. Like it was crazy.
It's a good squad.
4 wives, yeah.
Wow.
Fucking nuts.
How did he say it was? Did he say it was kind of more of it was the juice worth the squeeze?
I don't know. I mean, he got, I mean, this has nothing to do with his wives, but I had to get the coffee all the time and I got him coffee one time and he was fucking furious.
Why?
Didn't put enough sugar in it.
He spazzed on you.
I wasn't familiar with the extra ways.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, date's a barista, so
True. Oh, he did Dunkin' Donuts barista too.
Extra Dunkin' Donuts.
That might be the most sugar
Bro,
ever.
they go. They have the cups pre-filled.
Dude.
If you look over the counter, the counter, you see the cups and where like they use like simple syrup a lot of the times, and it's
You
like
want to talk about how they put like pawn shops and gun liquor stores in the hood?
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Dunkin's.
Yeah.
That's to keep. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what that is?
Yep.
Here's a cup of fucking sugar every day.
Yep. Amen.
That stinks.
Yeah, dude, they do it. Sugar is truly an evil
When you guys
substance.
hit a nice fart?
No, I did not.
What?
I did not hit a fart.
Okay.
No.
Sugar is an evil substance. Like
deep.
the roots of the trade, everything. It's bad. It's bad for you. The way it came about was bad. It's done nothing but harm to literally everybody the whole time.
Oh, did you ever get a chocolate Easter bunny?
Yeah.
They're nice.
They do have some.
Where did that
man,
come
it's
from?
Christmas. It's candy cane time.
Where did it come
I'll
from?
trade anything. I don't care human suffering as long as I have my candy canes on
True.
Christmas.
To be fair, yeah, there's, if you think about all the human suffering that went into manufacturing sugar, and then you like that little 8-year-old biting into a chocolate bunny, it's like
that was worth it.
the flip side of the
That was
tapestry.
worth
I guess
it.
that's the flip side of the
True.
tapestry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some bad
The yin
stuff.
and
There's
the
good
yang.
stuff.
Sure, there was probably the most horrific thing. And
Yeah. The Caribbean.
That's what I was
murdering people.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with dude. They used to give slaves rum, and it was like they built it into your ration. You got captured in Africa or traded. That did happen too.
Yeah.
You get captured in Africa or traded, then you come
Kyrie
here
started.
and they hand you food in like a little like a cup, and you got the same cup every day, and it was rum. You'd be like, "Fucking drink that." Next thing you know, you're like, "Give me that stuff, please."
Yeah.
So it kind of made you became dependent on rum, and if you try to get anywhere else, it's like you started getting all hankering
the
and
shakes.
Yeah.
And one day the boys got into the casks down in Haiti and said, "Fuck this."
They got the casks?
They got the rum, dude. They said, "What the fuck are we doing, dude? We're the ones with the machetes."
Damn.
Let's go.
Haiti's fucked up right now.
Haiti's been fucked up.
Yeah, Hades.
No, I'm saying fuck. Remember when they went in there and killed the dude?
Oh, that guy got assassinated. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like a cartel hit. They were like, DEA, open up, and it just wasn't. It was like the president of Haiti.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this just happened. So now it's just like
Yeah, it was
pure
like 2 years
economic.
ago.
Yeah, pure economic turmoil.
Yeah,
and their whole fucking country's fucked up. All that shit.
Yeah.
The
Dude,
America's down there like we have to be here. I think they did it.
I
Dulles
think-
brothers might have done that one. You know.
Someone was telling me
Tell me.
Mozambique. Someone was telling me of like places you got to go to, and he was like, apparently Mozambique. He's like, it's so fucking nice. But he
It's
was
nice as
saying,
shit, yeah.
He was like, it's beautiful. But he was saying when you go in there to buy stuff, the prices are changing by the second. So you'll get a thing, and by the time you go check out, it just costs
Wow.
like twice. He's like, the inflation there is so insane that like you have to grab something and buy it real quick because you'll go to check out, and all of a sudden it's like 2 times more, or whatever.
Yeah.
Try and get
way more
candy bar.
expensive. Huh?
Try and get a candy bar.
You're
Or
trying to
some-
buy a candy
some
bar.
eggs.
You go in there try to buy
Mozambique.
one. Oh, what the hell? $1.25. This is $1.
No, it's $1.26. What the fuck just happened?
I mean, that feels like too much work.
What?
Like, who's the guy fucking keeping an eye on the dollar, like in real time?
I don't know.
Like a stock
Yeah.
market exchange guy down there. Like,
I don't know.
$1.25 now.
It's a good question now that I think
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
one of those where
I
you
feel
say it and the hole gets punched in it. and you're like,
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
True.
I know someone from Venezuela, and she said like you would have to go down there with like a bag full of money because they're worthless dollars. But I feel like that'd be too much work to keep
That's-
track of the dollar per the second.
I mean, it's still people are probably pretty like keeping track of their dollars because it's their dollars, all the dollars they have. They're still important to them. They just stink. They just don't work that well.
There's a lot.
There's still money's on your mind. It's still cash flowing everything around you.
Yeah.
It's just every time you go check your dollars, you go, God dang it, my dollars aren't worth anything.
Dollars aren't
again."
worth shit again.
That
Trying
does
to buy a
suck.
Twix.
When like you've worked hard your whole life and then your dollars are like, oh yeah, it turns out our dollars stink.
Yeah.
We got bad dollars. What
That's how-
the-
yeah,
How
that's
the
when
hell do we
you're
get
like-
bad dollars? Be like, no one,
These bad
nobody
dollars talk.
understands
You
it.
go, I'd like to hear what this Hitler has to say. Because what the fuck? Wheelbarrow for a fucking loaf of bread? Not on my watch.
Yeah, I was
Who's
having,
this young charismatic fella?
I was at a close call there tonight.
With what?
Someone was doing a
In
clean
what
out. They
regard?
found funny vinyls, and it was a documentary vinyl of Hitler's Inferno, which is like a Holocaust documentary, but it's on vinyl. So they were in my front seat of my pickup truck, and there's 2 huge SWAT stickers on it and like German armies, and I forgot to get it. And it was like 11:30, and I was like, "Fuck, I should probably take that out of front of my car."
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, you had vinyls of Hitler speaking?
No, I mean, it's like a it's a documentary.
Oh, why is it on vinyl?
I don't know, it's
It's
old
like
as
an
shit.
audio?
Someone found it in a
Damn.
house they were demoing.
You like
Gotcha.
Nazis on vinyl?
I just thought it was fun.
What are you, Adolf hipster?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You gotta give him that.
That's pretty good. You gotta
That's
give him
pretty,
that,
that's pretty
dude.
good. That was pretty good.
Guys, we have fun, dude. That's the best part of this.
We do. We have a good time.
Even if we have nothing to say, we sit here and we goof off and have fun,
We have a
dude.
good time. We have a
There's
fun
nothing
time.
more fun than
Just
this.
chill.
What's been going on with you? How have you been? I know you're party boy phase for a little.
Nah, that was in the summertime.
What's the next
I liked
phase?
it.
I haven't.
Now it's beast mode.
Beast mode. I really haven't. I've been just working at my house, but I've been waking up at like normal time now, and it's like 9 o'clock, and I'm actually feel normal.
You're waking up at 9 a.m.
No, 7. I get up like 6:37. If I have to work out, I'll get up at 5.
Tell you what, that was a humiliating realization for my parents to come to. Is I wake up pretty late.
Really?
They did not like it this week.
What was happening?
Just waking up late as fuck. So was my girlfriend.
What
They're
time?
like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We were waking up at midnight or at noon.
Really?
Yeah, I was burning
That's
midnight oil.
insane.
Staying
What time
up
you guys
too
staying
late.
up till?
The 2 nights ago, we tried to go to sleep at like 11. Slept for 1 hour. Neither of us could sleep. My parents have small ass beds. So we're like
Yeah, it's
laying
hot.
next to each other, and there's like a spring. It was terribly uncomfortable. And I stayed up till like 3.
Just laying there?
No, we both. Neither of us could sleep. I could tell she was wide awake. She kept moving.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Felt her
I can't
fidgeting.
sleep. She was like, all right.
What you guys do?
So let's go watch TV.
Nice.
We watched it. No, I don't fuck at my parents' house.
You never have.
Nothing better than some quiet sex. I said, baby, don't make no noise.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm there.
I know you normally are screaming from this.
From
It's
penetration.
so hard to keep it quiet. Right?
Does she scream during penetration?
She howls.
Howls in delight.
She howls with delight.
Dude, how about the Clockwork Orange fucking episode you put me in when I was taking a dump?
What?
You put me in a full
Oh.
fucking side. I was taking a shit at his house at 2 a.m, dude. I'm completely like out of my mind in terms of like how tired I am. And I'm taking a shit. And dude, I got hit with just like I pinched it in half and I knew I did it. And I went,
Just give me a long one.
so I was like, I'm not gonna go to bed with an absolute swamp ass. So I was like, I'm finishing the dump. I'm not gonna be weird. I'm gonna take it. And all of a sudden I hear, what are you doing in there? And it's so I'm like,
It's a small apartment where like the foot of my bed
fuck,
is like
man.
from here to there. From the I just
Oh, in
sat.
New York.
I sat at the foot of my bed.
Well, then I sat there.
just
Yeah, then I'm,
tried to
but then I'm
harass
sitting there
him.
and I'm like fucking pushing. I haven't pushed this hard since I was like 6, dude. I'm fucking like,
Why? Why are you
my-
in a rush?
Because he's staying at my
it's 2 in
house,
the
and
morning.
me
I'm in
and
his
my
house.
girlfriend are harassing him while he's
Well, it was
trying
also-
to shit.
she was like, she was being
She was
nice.
like, leave him alone.
When she knocked on the door, that's when I went, fuck.
Why did
dude.
she knock on the door?
She had to
We
go to
were
the
trying to
bathroom. It's 2 in the
fucking go to
morning.
bed,
Everyone's
dude.
trying to go to bed, so everyone has to go.
Man,
It's-
taking a fucking 45-minute
I'm
shit.
taking like a long dump, dude. And I'm trying to get it
Yeah,
all
brush our
out.
teeth before bedtime.
Dude, it stunk so bad. Everyone had to do their bathroom stuff. And as soon as she knocked up, I was like, dude, fucking shoot me in the head. I'm sitting there the whole time. And I'm like, they're right by the door. It's going to smell so bad when they have to come in here. It smelled so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just pushing
I
out
was
fucking
sitting
like,
on my bed, just ew, Matt,
dude. And
it
I,
stinks in
and
here.
at one
What
point,
the
I swear to God, at
fuck?
one point she was like, does he need help in there? That's what I thought I heard. I'm in there just going like, just got to get this out. There's nothing
Are you
weird about what I'm doing.
okay?
Dude, it was the worst. Just sitting there.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And hear
I
Shane.
shouldn't have done that to you.
No, it was the right
I
move.
had to
I
do it.
was laughing at bed, but I
Shitting in that apartment. There's one bathroom. It's kind of a small apartment.
Dude,
Shitting in there is brutal.
I kept feeling. I was really feeling bad for your girlfriend. I was like, dude, she's like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Just some guy just shitting in her bathroom really badly. I'm like, this is terrible.
That comes with the price of dating a
True.
professional podcaster.
True, but I was like, dude, this has to be so bad to
Now
be
you're
like
a pro podcaster.
to try to be cool with it. I'm like, dude, I'm just a guy. There's just a dude
Yeah,
shitting,
shitting.
taking a long, skinny dump in your fucking toilet.
Yeah.
Breached water for sure. It stunk.
She's watched her boyfriend play Bannerlord for 8 straight days, and now there's just a guy taking a shit.
That's what I was.
Yeah, it's like,
thinking
man,
about.
I'm dating a moron.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm adding to discontent right now, dude. There's a guy shitting. It's 2 in the morning. It's too late. It was too late for me
Yeah.
to be shitting. First of all,
Who was on the couch? Was it Noah?
Noah.
Yeah, Noah's out on the couch. Dude. That was a fun
That's a
night.
comfortable couch looking.
Yeah, true.
What did we do that night?
Then we did the big show. That was the big show.
Yeah. Oh, and then Michael Che. Yeah.
There's Michael Chi.
Yeah. Was that big Mikey Che?
Yeah, it's big Mikey Chi.
Big fan favorite of the Patreon.
It was a victorious night. It was a victorious night.
That was a really victorious night. I thought that show. I didn't think it was going to go. I thought it went
I thought
great.
it was the egg. We thought it was going to be the egg.
I thought it was we were laying an absolute egg, dude.
We were fully prepared to lay the ultimate
And they
egg.
showed us the set. It was just fully a fucking what's his name set.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? No.
You think between
Andrew
the firms?
Tate.
Yeah, it was. It was
Full Tate
It was.
set.
It was the.
Tate
Yeah, it
speech?
looked like it
Like
was a
leather,
YouTube.
yeah. He's in my algorithm now, and they're pretty funny.
All of them are great.
It's like the
Yeah, you were
reason
on Andrew Tate
nobody's
one.
watching women's sports because women do not watch sports. You should be mad at your gender, not the hierarchy or the patriarchy. I'm like, sweet, got him.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that going on right now.
What's that?
All those fucking videos with like inspirational music on the back. of
Yeah,
it.
Watch this every morning when you wake up, and you
Yeah.
will be speechless and motivate. Yeah.
because I've been sharing those success
Oh, fuck.
Instagrams.
Yeah,
They're
you
so
gotta get
my Instagram reels are all. Yeah, those is pretty sick. Those quotes.
Yeah.
I keep posting them. People keep thinking I'm serious, which is
Good.
kind of the point. But then people say mean stuff.
Oh, you get guys attacking you?
Yeah,
It's not nice.
just because I say things like,
What's one of them?
when a nice guy loses his patience, the devil shivers.
Oh, yeah. I love one of
That
those.
might be an internal monologue test, though. If you don't realize how funny that is, you might not have an internal monologue.
True.
I mean, one and third. Yeah.
I love the ones that
1:30,
say like
1
you got to
and
be
3.
the type of guy when you're 2 feet at the ground. When you wake up, the devil says, "Oh shit, he's up."
Dude, this one,
Be a real
this one's
mofo.
sick, dude. It's a picture of a Peaky Blinder, and
How'd
it
he
says,
say it?
"About me, I can be as sweet as candy, cold as ice, evil as hell, or loyal like a soldier. It all depends on you." A picture of a Peaky Blinder.
Damn,
Thomas
dude.
Shelby, dude, they're doing an He's in the Oppenheimer movie.
What Oppenheimer movie?
Yeah,
They're
it's gonna be
making
awesome.
an Oppenheimer movie.
Cillian Murphy, he's in a lot of stuff. He's good.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's crazy. They're doing Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer movie.
The
about
bomb guy.
yeah.
He's the bomb guy.
Yeah.
Move out the guy.
Dropping the big one.
Dude, would that be sick
Yeah.
if the soundtrack was "You drop the bomb on me, baby"?
I'm like curious as to how they're going to spin that.
It's all bomb
Dude,
songs.
Pain changes people. Some become rude. Some become silent. Some become silently rude.
Damn, dude. Who do you think clips these up?
Clearly Indian dudes. It's lions
You think he's-
and ridiculous quotes.
It might be nurses though. That's kind of nurse brain.
This is the one I posted that people got upset about.
That thing
It's a
fucking.
wolf with a bunch of arrows in his back. Some roads you have to take alone. No family, no friends, no partner. Just you and God.
That's a sick. That's actually sick.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
There's a few dudes who see that after just ruining Thanksgiving dinner for fucking spazzing. Like this is what's actually
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
It's
A wolf
like
with
that's a
arrows.
dark fucking internet hole. Like they fucking laugh at incels and all that stuff. Like once the dude brings out, what are those hats? The Jeff caps, and it's like my whole family's against me, and that's their algorithm.
Yeah,
That's dangerous.
they hit a PF.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
fucking yoked.
hmm Tank tops, you name it.
A lot of dudes in recovery turn to steroids too. I've been seeing.
Really?
Oh
It's
yeah.
a big move in recovery. If you're getting off the junk,
You also
get the
destroy
roids.
your hormones doing that shit.
What, the roids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
No. We're doing like drugs and like all that shit
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
You're fucking all jammed up. And then you're taking
Yeah.
roids. You probably supposedly
Probably feels
all
good.
naturally. You can blood test whenever you want. I'm not Liver King. It feels amazing once you get on steroids. Like you'll never want to not be on steroids. So that's why I don't do it.
What? Oh, the roids.
If
The-
you're on
the
any, like, this
testosterone
rules-
replacement therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's probably pretty nice. You get like jacked up on the sauce.
And you feel like you're fucking 22 again after being hurt. Like it supposedly
I would
helps
just be
you.
so confused. I'd be like, what the fuck's going on right now?
Probably if you get real horny too.
True, I probably was horny.
Wait, was it you who took one that fucked the hormones up and you started crying?
Yeah,
You had
yeah.
girl brain for like a week.
From GNC.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit was discontinued. That shit I was taking was
Dude, every
serious,
pre-workout
bro.
I've ever taken.
Nah,
is
dude, this was
discontinued. Fucking
testosterone,
A.
bro. This was test. This
Yeah.
shit, they were black pills like that big.
You were taking
think like 5 of
testosterone
them.
boosters?
They were like,
What a
dude,
fucking idiot. My buddy
hold
did
on, what
that.
were they called? It was fuck. I wish I remember. I don't
Is this
remember.
when you were in
Animal
your fucking
stacks?
give me the keys phase?
Oh, this was way before that.
Oh, okay.
Animal M stack.
Animal M stack,
It's
yeah.
methyloxylone, dude. Look up Animal M stack. You probably can't even find it, dude. It's so banned. It was like Russian Olympic stuff.
I've done every single
I was
fucking
fucked up.
pre-workout there is.
Yeah, but the test, dude. You never felt the
Dude,
power.
there was
of the
one you would
test.
like pop for meth.
Yeah, that one
That's pretty
sucks. That's
sick.
Animal M stack.
Not
Doesn't
banned.
You
have
know,
at all.
Animal M
methyloxylone.
stack?
Doesn't have methyloxylone. I'm telling you, somebody
Oh,
had
yeah.
got banned. I'm telling you. Uh-huh.
You had the hormonal
I
one.
had the hormonal one, dude. It fucked me up.
Mind
What
if I sit
happened?
like Jordan Peterson?
No, it'd be awesome.
Cool, thanks.
What do you say?
I want to sit like JP.
Be
That's fine.
yourself.
He can't stop crying.
I get it.
He's
man.
literally bawling his eyes out
Me and
constantly.
JP are both in the cry phase.
Also, there was a kid who was went missing, and the last person who was DMing was Jordan Peterson.
That makes sense. So everyone. he
Every kid
talks
that
to-
goes and kills himself was definitely DMing JP.
Hey man,
Are you trying to put smut on him?
Kid was DMing and jumped off a bridge.
Yeah,
probably, into
dude.
a body of water.
Dude, I don't know. You can't.
Or you're saying DMing him and JP was like, let's meet up. And JP sucked his soul. Or told him, get on all fours.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I mean, that's bull. That's bull.
You're gonna
That's
come
bull.
on here and say that about the good doctor.
That's bull, dude. That's bull.
Met up with Netton, dude. Who knows?
That's bull, dude. That's the rumor mill.
The rumor.
That's
mill
the
is
rumor
what
mill,
happened.
bro.
I look at it. I look at
Come
everything
on.
unbiased. I see what's going on.
Unbiased?
Yes.
You're saying he's a pedophile because he met
I'm not
met
saying he's a
Netanyahu. Met
pedophile.
Netanyahu.
I'm just letting you know the information.
You
and
say he
do
met
what you want.
Netanyahu, so he must
I'm
have
just saying
killed
he
that
met
kid.
Netton. He sat down with Ben Shapiro and met Netton.
Yeah, he's like a culture
What's
shaper,
wrong with
dude.
that?
Huh?
What's wrong with that?
He's a thought leader, dude. Why would he hang out with world figures?
I'm just saying. It's just something I saw. Say, hey, you guys should think about that. Oh, that's crazy.
You wouldn't sit down with if Netanyahu was. I
I
want to
wouldn't
talk to
sit
you.
down in the fucking same area code as that
Why,
fucker.
dude? Why you?
He's
why
a
you-
piece of shit.
Why? What did he do?
Why?
Give us one thing other than his religion.
I don't care about the religions. What the
Yeah,
man
yeah,
does
yeah.
to Palestine.
Yeah, he's at war, bro.
What's he
They're
doing?
not at fucking war.
What's
he
They
doing
to
have
Palestine?
fucking fireworks they're shooting at him. Don't get me started. Let's talk about something.
No, I want to hear it because
Yeah, what
I'm
the
not
hell?
sure what they've done.
The occupation of Palestine. They literally, bro, no.
So
I'm
are
not
you-
going to do this.
What about the
I'm
Na-
not going to do this. I'm
How do you
not
feel
doing
about the
it.
Native Americans?
Huh?
How do you feel about the Native Americans?
Bro, I'm talking about what's happening right now.
For sure.
That's in the past. None of those dudes are alive anymore. We can't fucking be
Yeah,
angry.
they
at them.
certainly are.
Different
Yeah,
times.
they're still kicking.
There are big old hypocrites.
Guys,
That's what I'll say.
One of my great great
We all
grandfathers
are,
went
bro.
out to the Dakota territories and won a lawsuit for the Shawnee.
Really?
500,000 against the U.S. government.
Ooh.
Yeah, he went out there for coal.
Damn, you guys are kicking around here forever.
Yeah,
It's fucking awesome. He went after Big Cole
yeah.
for the Shawnee.
On behalf of the Shawnee.
Damn.
My family's always been a friend of the oppressed because we were oppressed ourselves, and we know.
Really?
True.
Yes.
What was the worst thing you think that happened to you?
I got beat to death by a gypsy out in the woods.
That's kind of oppressed, dude.
It's kind of pretty bad.
That is.
Apparently, John Lilly wanted to do a thing called Cetacean Nation, where he was trying to get whales, dolphins, and orcas recognized as a sovereign nation, and they would be represented by the Maori people.
You ever see?
And he wanted to be,
dolphins'
if you
dicks?
were to attack a dolphin, you would be now like aggressing a United Nations country.
Nice.
And I don't think anyone listened to him.
Yeah, nobody listened to him.
Listen, pretty sick idea though.
Tell you who shot that down, the Japanese, real quick.
Yeah.
They
Don't they eat
fucking
them?
love stabbing the fuck out of those guys. They
Don't they
said,
eat them?
yeah, right, dude. We're stabbing those freaks.
That's fucked up. You
Why?
ever see their dicks?
What, dolphin dicks? No, what are they looking like?
Hilarious.
Fat?
Me and Spade were looking at them the other day, having a good laugh. Hold on.
That's pretty tight.
This one might be fucking edited. Hold on.
Blurred out?
Not blurred out. I just think someone might be
Playing games?
pushing that.
Are they fucking?
Ooh, that's disgusting.
Let me see. What are they
Yeah,
looking
bro.
like?
They're huge.
Yo, that's tentacle, dude.
Yeah, it's like tentacle porn.
That's the tentacle.
This one might be fucking Photoshop.
Nah, bro, that's how they
How
roll.
good
That's
is
how
that?
they roll, dude.
That's a huge horn.
Bro, that's their fucking gat.
His dick's pointing forward. Look at that. It's like a hand.
It's leading the way.
Did you see the one nutting?
No.
Nutting mid-ocean?
What?
Pause.
Pause.
Yo.
Pretty tight.
That might just be water coming off his penis.
Doubt it.
That's
No, there's a
nut,
dolphin
dude.
pussy right next to it.
Huh? Yeah, I'm just wrapping
What's
up
that pussy
this
look
No,
like?
that's a real picture. Look at that. That's their dicks.
Okay.
Dude.
Like that
Yeah,
cocoa
man.
bird.
That's how they're rolling.
Hey, just something to think about.
Pussy looking nut.
What?
No, I don't blame
Dicks.
you.
Yeah,
Literally,
no
I'm putting in this last new
They're
start
That's
nice,
pretty
bro.
fun to look
this
at.
weekend.
Yo.
Guys got a little chode.
Go ahead, bro.
Whoa, killer whale.
Yo.
Killer whales have big dicks.
Guys,
God damn.
check out a killer whale's penis.
Yo, that's kind of
Guy's
nice.
shaking hands
bro.
with it.
Don't mind if I do.
That's kind of nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chicks
I
are
mean,
fucking that too.
No, that's
what?
Chicks have sex
Yeah,
with
girls get
dolphins.
fucked by dolphins.
Yeah, why not?
There was a guy that got fucked
They'll
by a
get rid-
dolphin.
Some chicks give it up to dolphins.
Did they pass away like
Yeah,
the horse?
Oh,
guy?
there's a guy who used to fuck dolphins. Remember that guy?
Who?
We talked about it on here before, I think. There was
Holy
a
moly.
YouTube documentary about a guy who was like, he was in love with a dolphin.
He was fucking female
He would
dolphins?
swim out and fuck a dolphin. She would meet him there.
What?
Yeah.
Remember, like,
You know,
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better. See, I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet
Cause I
next
don't
to
give
me.
a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it, get after it. Get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma